Welcome everybody, how's it going? Sorry, I kind of got a little bit behind on everything, that's why the stream started a little bit late. So let's start by opening Reddit, and then a new tab for some sheets in here. Sorry about the not being entirely on time. I tried, I did, but today has been full of things that have happened. Let's go there, do that. Cool. Okay, so right off the bat, Tom, you've got my message probably before you've checked out this stream, which I don't, assuming you're not here for. You didn't put up links that worked, so I couldn't do your cars. And I was just going through. It turns out that at some, whoa, my camera is super fast there. One car hasn't worked, and I was doing the check through the list of things that wasn't working as well. I've got a new install of Windows, and for some reason Alt-U just isn't working. Like, okay, you know what it is? Control-L. This keeps on changing. It's meant to stay on that, but for some reason it doesn't. Now Alt-U. Yes, now Alt-U works. Alright. Let's do the zoom in. I am so far behind. But we also have an extra car. This one by Night Dragon. Unfortunately, your mod isn't showing up. I mean, it's here. It's in the mod folder. It's just not on the list. So, we're going to find the one by Night Dragon, which is, unfortunately, one that looked pretty decent. So, I'm going to put a line through that one. We don't have that one available to us. So that meant that just before the stream, I got those two ready, but I didn't know about the Night Dragon one, and now it's too late. Great! Fantastic. Also, my partner just picked up COVID, so that means I've probably got it now as well, so that's also great news. Today has been tricky. And then to have this happen, like, right at the last second with the whole, like, cars thingy, why? Also, I was about to start the stream, and then I realized I don't have PaintShop Pro installed to make my thumbnail. So I was making my thumbnail when my stream was meant to have been started. This stream has been an ordeal already, and it's only just started for you guys. But let's start saying hello to everybody. That is you, Crownless Broken Ursa. We have one of your cars today. How's it going? Budini, thank you for stopping by again, bro. Groundhog, keep up the hard work. You are doing God's work. I don't know how I was able to get Hybrid to work through the same wheels, but yeah. Chris Games, how's it going? I don't believe I've seen you around here before. So I could most likely be wrong. Pontus Haggerstrom, bro, welcome back to the stream. Canola Skies, I haven't seen you in yonks. Or am I mistaken? Anyway. Philman cameo? What? It's not a stream if nothing is scuffed. Oh my god. Everything was scuffed. I spent most of the day getting the computer back to where it is that it's usable for what I need to use it for. And then I forgot PaintShop Pro right at the last second. I was like, no, I need to make a thumbnail! Music is too loud? Yeah, why the hell is that so loud? Alright. Hopefully, the music is now not overbearing. And welcome, E-Dragon. Hello, I am vibing aggressively and your music is very loud right now. That's unfortunate. Managed to delete my message. Okay. Sure, why not? I have met you before, Chris Games? Okay then. I'm sorry. Well, welcome back, Chris Games. It's always good to have more people here like Canola Skies, who until recently apparently has abandoned me. You are not mistaken, I am fairly absent. I have not started up automation in a long time. Fair enough. Welcome, SJR. How's it going? I don't believe I've seen you around here before. If you're another person that I have had around before and I just forget, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this. Music gives open TTD vibes somehow. I don't know what open TTD is. But anyway, let's get on to these cars. I was just about to say they're all here and ready to go, but they're not all here. We're shy 3 of them. Also, 2 other people had also broken links in their things. What you gotta do is when you've uploaded the file onto your Google Drive is right-click on the file and then go down to the sharing options, and when you're getting the link for it, make sure it's set to viewable. You need to do that. I know what Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe is. Oh, okay. I've heard of it, but I've not played it, I don't think. It's a lot of the kind of car art block where I have no ideas what to make. But that looks like a very bright collection you got there. There's a lot of bright cars this week. Yeah, very bright. Hey, Fredbus! Welcome back! Hi, and yeah, my car didn't got here. English is a struggle, I understand. But let's go through and start having a look at the cars we have this week. Now, I recognize this car as the one which I think I had a hand in teaching the creator how to make a steering wheel that moves. Yes, this is the one. Handbrake turned off on its own. Also, I made a car on automation with over 1200 horsepower. Lots of horsepower should not be your goal, unless you're going for a drag car. Make a good car. Now, the interior here is drastic. I mean, not the most complicated interior I've ever seen. Sorry, no. Not the most contiguous interior I've ever seen, but it is a pretty darn good interior. I'm liking all of these little things here. Do we have controls over any of these sorts of things? Not by the looks of it. What if we turn Alt-U off? Do we... No, there's no mouse over to press things to do things like open doors. They did say, though, this is like a BeamNG stock car. So I am expecting a lot out of this car. Like, you remember that car that Groundhog made? With all of the, like, everything? Yeah. That's what I expect when you say something like that. We'll be scrutinizing your statement. Very much so. Hey, Beanbreaker! How's it going, bro? It was a drag car? Ah, okay, fair enough. Straight 6 with 1 turbo. Oh my god. 1200 horsepower out of that. Yikes. English not my language? English is my language, and I struggle with it. Space of Seat is premium, I see. Yeah, I am noticing that it is a little bit cramped. So let's go back and have a look. Okay, yeah. So, why are the seats so far forward? Usually, the general gist of it is, unless you need to, like, have rear access, the seats will be fairly flush with the rear pillars of a car. So let's have a look at, I mean, Mustang has to have the seat forward. What's a two-door, two-seater? Wait, what's the FT86 seats? Are they four-seater or two-seater? I mean, it's two-seater, but you can see there that it is still quite a fair distance back. If we have a look here at a picture, these are aftermarket seats, but you can see it's fairly flush with the door line here. It's not too far forward. Here, there is a large chunk section where it is going in front of the door seam. Welcome, 8 verse 8. How's it going? That's quite the name. I don't know how to quite... Just call you Universe, I think, probably. Hello, I represent the Ferrari Tech Espionage Department. It seems like you hacked our storage of design prototypes. And from now, you know all our secrets and you have to join us all soon. Great. This is a weird song, by the way, that's playing. What is this? It's like a stock beam car that is a lot of work. If it's like a stock beam car, yes, a lot of work. English is my worst language. Fart means speech in Dutch. Huh. Then apparently, I've been doing a lot of speak today. Unfortunately, it's the only one I speak. Fair enough. I'm gonna go make an automation car. That's entirely up to you. FT86 looks like a 2+2. Yep. Backfiring is just engine farts. Pretty much. So let's go ahead and have a look at what we got in here. I'm going to assume that this has probably got some sort of little 4-cylinder, 4-banger sort of thing in it. No, we have a V6 naturally aspirated with aftermarket headers on there. So this isn't a standard car. This is like a modified one, most likely, because I doubt that most companies are going to bother putting headers on a mass production car. But we do have double wishbone. They've gone with brakes, but then forgot to remove the old brakes from the 3D model. Then they've got base game wheels and... oh, sorry, tires at least. I don't know about wheels, but they got base game tires. I keep seeing something flash in the corner of my eye, and I think it's chat, but it's not chat. Something is just... what's happening? What keeps catching my eye? That is really weird. The production has ever had headers. So there's a few circumstances in which it would happen. One of the main ones would be dealer exclusive add-on sort of things, where like a dealership or a chain of dealerships would have it as an option that they would install for you. Not so much from the factory itself. I think some have. So if you consider HSV a manufacturer and not just a tuning house department of Holden, then they also sold some cars with headers as well. But they were considerably less production runs, and they cost a lot more. Then also they didn't have access to different engines. They had to work with what they had, which was the GM LS engines. So they couldn't really do anything. They didn't make the engines. They didn't make engines here in Australia. They just came from America. We plopped them in. HSV had to do something. Twice the brakes, twice the stop. Maybe. I mean, like, Bugatti should have headers. It wasn't mass-produced. The Bugatti was not mass-produced. That was, handmade. Hey, Stance! How's it going? Crashing was invented by William Crash? What? When he tried to brake twice at the same time? Interesting. It took me a little bit to get what you were going for there. All right, coming down to the rear, we have independent rear suspension on double wishbones. And once again, the double braking system. Interesting. Is that 4-piston? That is 4-piston in the rear. I feel that they've grabbed the wrong mesh. That is 4-piston. Okay, so I think what's happened here is they've either taken this from a mid-engine car, which is possible, which is wrong. They shouldn't have done that for a front-engine car. Or they have the same mesh for the front and the rear brakes, which that would be a big mistake. They shouldn't have done that. Is this the first or second car? This is the first car still. We just got through all of the introductions and hellos and all that sort of stuff. Just want to check one thing. Okay, good. So they have fixed one of the major BeamNG automation exporter issues, which is simple because they've got aftermarket mesh thingy sort of things. You'll notice that on one side of the car, the brakes are pointing backwards on the car, and on the other side, the brakes are pointing forwards on the car. So they've got both brake calipers pointing backwards on the car. So at least that's good. All right, so this car overall looks quite good. I am expecting a lot from this car. A lot of beauties here amongst these cars, I see. I mean, I suppose I'm amongst the cars because my camera's... you. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. This one I think is rather cool, which is why I put it on the thumbnail. I do like a good kind of like commuter car. Hopefully they've made it handle as good as it looks, because this looks pretty nice in my opinion. I'm a big fan of this. How am I today? I'm doing okay right about now. Oh, we have a slant engine. Oh, I like. So a few manufacturers over the years have decided to put in engines at a slight slant. I think BMW did it, but I think Volvo did it first. I think Mercedes did it for a little while as well. So when I see this sort of stuff, I like the little attention to detail. Once again, the head is on there. I don't think that's coming on a stock vehicle. Pullman is our 10th car. Okay then. Looks like a Peugeot sedan. It does look like a Peugeot sedan. Peugeot 405, that sounds about right. I am a big fan of this, except for, yes, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if this also probably would have come in a single point, but I believe this is meant to be a performance version of the car. I've noticed that they've also got, like, inner wheel fenders and all that sort of stuff, so they've done actually some details here to fill in the inside. Now, I noticed that they did put batteries and stuff in there, so they have got some under hood details in here. But yeah, they've done some stuff in here. They've covered up the suspension strut, though. That's a bit peculiar. We do have double wishbone and then 2 piston brakes on the front. We have... Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is not all-wheel drive, but 4-wheel drive. So, like, your early all-wheel drive systems a lot of the time were basically an all-wheel drive system instead. Hey, Gage Trikstra, welcome back to the stream, bruv. The replacement of my B23E in my... Yes, I have a 740 with a B234F. I also have an AQ171B, or is it C? I can't remember. The big 171 horsepower version. I have one of those sitting in my garage. Does look a higher spec though. Yes, this is meant to be a higher spec, but even still, a lot of the times, they didn't bother messing with the exhaust manifold. It's just too expensive. My uncle had a Dodge Polara, never heard of that before, with a slant 6. He jokingly called it the Leaning Tower of Power. Alright, fair enough. Sounds like fun. You gotta make a video of the Volvo. There is videos of the Volvo. If you go into my channel now, I have linked my other YouTube channels. And I go over a few of the Volvos. There's a few different videos in there. There's a few streams, VODs in there from a long time ago. And then there's also a few tutorial stuffs in there. So you'll have to sift through that. There's also the podcast channel that me, Twin Turbos, and Shiny Odd run. Hey, Jumbo Jacob, welcome back, bro. Anyway, let's have a look at the brakes we got here. Single piston, a little bit smaller, but vented, which is unusual. Usually, to save a little bit of money, you'll find that they go like a worse brake at the rear, which will generally mean a solid disc. A vented disc is just a little bit longer on the manufacturing time, so they'll generally not put so much emphasis on the rear brakes. And a lot of the times, you'll find that you don't really need it. Only on like high-end race cars or mid-engine cars or rear-engine cars, those will have it. Gotta check those out. Good. Good when giving you more content to look at. I think some cars have slanted engines to avoid steering rack. There's a few different reasons as to why you would have it. The Volvo the red block engines are slanted is because it came from a tractor where it's slanted. I don't know if it was for the steering rack, but there's a few different reasons. Some of the times it's also to fit it in there. Sometimes it's to fit superchargers or other things. There's lots of different reasons as to why you might do it. Steering rack could be potentially one of them. Realistic handling meaning bad? We'll see. I feel like replicating experiences I had while driving, such as terrifying amount of doing an emergency stop. Okay. Slant. Welcome, Toon Verbuggen. That is quite the name, but yes, thank you for joining us. I don't believe I've seen you around in these parts before. It's always good to have no peeps, and it seems that we've had a bunch of new peeps today. So, not an over-designed car, but rather quite nice and subtle good detail everywhere. I do appreciate a lot of the work that is done here. It's very nice, and that I love. I love it when like people don't go, oh, I don't know what to do, so I'll over-design it. No, I think sometimes taking a step back helps. You like French budget sports performance cars? I do agree as well. Hey, C1X, how's it going? Never say peeps again, I beg. No, I'll say peeps however much I want. The V6 in the NSX is slanted because the engine bay was not designed for larger VTEC heads. That doesn't make sense. They designed it to have a Honda engine. Like, they designed it from beginning to end. How do they stuff that up? Subtle parts make the car? Yes, I agree. Anyway, let's go in and have a look at the inside. We've got a little bit of the, Oh no, they've used cloth, and cloth is shiny. Oh, unfortunate. But yeah, they've got, a bit of the mesh that you would see on the old Ford, sports cars from, like, I think the 80s, maybe even the 70s, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that sort of headrest. Seats look okay. It's so hard to get over the fact that this is shiny. I think your front seats are a little too far forward. Yeah, maybe just a smidge, like an inch too far forward. And then maybe your dash comes out slightly too far forward because your steering wheel is a little too far over. But then again, I suppose this could be just the seating position for a short person, and then you would move the seat back, because there is a lot of rear leg room. So I think this is all right. I am not a fan of the fact that you didn't try to deal with the shininess issue. I've talked about this before. It's not the hardest thing to fix. It's just a little bit of time consuming, and you don't have to be not so shy about using Blender, because Blender's not going to bite your head off or anything. Shiny cloth bugs still exist. I think this might be from old automation. Let's have a look at the wheels on this thing. Is that old or new automation tires? I think that's old automation tires. Could be new, I'm not sure. I honestly do not know. But this is a cool looking car. Are those custom door handles? Are they... Oh, okay. This is not just a door handle. They were like, you know what? Automation door handles, bah! Not interesting enough. So they've used a fixture here, then they've put in some sort of 3D thing, and then a barrel of some sorts. Oh my god, do you see how much is in there? Oh my god. There are so many layers here. Just to get that very subtle key. That is a lot of effort they went to. My god. That's a disgusting mental image, thank you. Wait, what? Oil-coated leather? Oh dear. Don't they cover a lot of leather in, like, an oil anyway? For, like, treating it? Or, like, to make sure that it stays waterproof or whatever? When you mistake your seats for the oil cap. Welcome back, Magpie. How's it going, bruv? Anyway, that is a lot of detail I put into just the door handle. I love it. Haven't tuned into one of these streams in ages. I do recognize the name still. All my mind can think of is, the polygons. Yeah, that's what's going through my mind. But it seems to be handling it quite well with this fresh install of Windows. So, I'm not too concerned. I'm noticing, though, some extra details in here. And I like that they've got the window washers for here, but I don't know, it doesn't quite look right. Those on the front, like, it looks weird. Let's go Peugeot headlight washers. See if Peugeot has done it. Okay, for some reason hitting enter doesn't work in such. Okay, so this is what they did after a while. Like, it was very popular in this sort of time period of, like, it would push out and then squirt and whatnot. But I'm not seeing. Here's an older one. This one pushes up. Okay, yeah, so this has a little bit of a... Oh, wait, no. There we go. It's a little bit hard to see, but that is actually a solid thing that is just there. And that's how they use it for that. Okay. But none of them, like, stick out like a sore thumb like that, unfortunately. So that I'm going to have to be is, like, the only other thing apart from the shiny interior and the exhaust manifold, which is going to be against it. Everything else is just so good. Except for the fact that also a lot of the 80s cars never had, like, a full side sill like this. Usually they do wrap under still quite a bit. Phil's fantasizing over a keyhole. But this leather looks like it has been soaked in crude oil. A little bit. I don't know, the 90s cloth seats. Here, leather is paint careful. Oh, yeah. Even if this is current automation, yes, cloth still comes out shiny. But I feel that that is old automation with just the amount of shininess is there. Anyway, then we've got this. From, like, brilliant subtle details all over the place. Except for the fact that this would probably have been on a bit of a slant to follow this body line to match up with this as well. What you've done is you've gone flat straight across and then realized that this had to be a little bit higher. You've probably noticed that this is not in line with the body line. That probably should have been. Or at least somewhere in between, because it also doesn't match the sill line. Like, body lines do usually, like, open up towards the rear. It's called leading lines. Happens on the side as well. Hey, Ignazion! Welcome! I love 4.27 version of automation, but it lacks many community mods. There's still a lot of mods on there. But yes, I do agree there are a lot of things missing. But if you can't work around that, then it's kind of like that one scene from the Fast and the Furious, the first movie, when he's showing like the 10-second car. Oh, sorry, I asked for a 10-second car, not a 10-minute car. Like, then he goes on to say, like, if you can't find the tool that you want to work, that you need in this workshop, then you're not meant to be around a car or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, like, I'm getting that vibe from, like, I think you can work with automation still. You're making a cheap V8 car right now? Nice. This car looks like something out of Hotshot Racing. Enough detail to identify it as a car, but nothing beyond that. Okay. So yeah, it is absurdly under-detailed, this car, unfortunately. But it's not the worst car. There have been worse cars. I like that you've tried at least something with the taillights, but you generally, if this is a big mid-engine car, so let's have a look. Okay, so it's not a very big engine. It's only a 4-cylinder in the back here, so it's not going to take a lot of air in, but probably more air than that's allowing in. Also, if you're making a car and you're not going to do an interior, you may want to turn the window transparency up to full. That's on the right side of your screen, where you got like all of the things that you can set invisible. One of those is a settings tab. You can change the window transparency. You can turn that fully to not transparent, because the word is failing me. Looks like a knockoff Hot Wheels, a little bit. Music contains a dog coughing? Really? I don't have a single automation mod, and I can make decent looking things. Fair enough, yeah, I agree. When I first upgraded, I was like, you know what? I like the challenge. I've just noticed the fuel cap. Why have you chosen this fuel cap? What? Is this a joke? Is this a joke car? Is it overhead valve? Let's have a look. It is an overhead valve. Okay. Overhead camshaft or whatever. 2 valves per cylinder. Interesting. You've made some choices. Let's just leave it at that. What have we got in the front? We have all-wheel drive, double wishbone. 4 piston brakes on the front. Coming down to the rear, we have 2 piston brakes on McPherson stripe on a tubular chassis. So this thing is probably going to have way too much front brake force compared to rear brake force. It's also a really short wheelbase, so it's probably just going to end up going wide. Just washing out super duper wide. You also don't have a lot of detail on the front, so like put something here, extra little bit of vent, maybe stick a light in there, maybe something, or maybe have some air coming in here, and then it would expel out around the wheel for a to make an air curtain sort of thing. Then put a door handle on, please. What else we got going on here? A little bit of extra, like get some air in. NACA ducts don't work back to front, so that is just wrong way to use a NACA duct. Put in, like, if you want a reason to make some extra detail, you've left out a place to, like, hold a number plate. So you may want to do something like that. Also, these sorts of cars from this era will have a third brake light, so you could put that in as well. A little bit of air evacuation from the rear tire well. So one thing that causes drag and lift is air builds up in the wheel wells. So a lot of cars will try to vent that air out. So let's have a look at the Celine S7 as being like one of the more normal cars, but with extreme measures for that sort of stuff. So Celine S7 images. Okay. So first things first, air comes in here and then it comes out here. You notice that the air is coming out? That is because they want to make an air curtain to go down the car. It's similar sort of thing that you might try with a canard, except this is kind of a canard here. What that's meant to do is create a vortice running down the car. What the air curtain does is when the air hits the front of the car, so say I'm the car at the front of the car, air will come at the front of the car and then it'll hit, and then it'll create a big wake as it bulges around the car. What the air curtain does is allows a little bit of air in, and then that air is vented out like around these sorts of parts, which fills in that little bit of an air gap, which means you get less drag because air is not being pushed out quite so much, and it causes a boundary layer kind of thing. I don't know if boundary layer is the right word, but yeah, it stops too much wake, because it does actually hold the wake in a little bit more, because it's got high velocity air moving down the side of the car, holding it in, bringing the other air in to match that velocity. And it stops air from getting so much into the things there. This one has an excessive amount of air in. But yeah, when we get into the back here, we've got a little bit of ventilation, then got a little bit of ventilation probably happening around the rear diffuser, but you've also got this here. And what this will most likely be doing is evacuating air out of the wheel well out through this hole. Then let's have a look here. This has a lot of wheel here. This would be quite a big wheel for its day. So they've got the air vents here to help ventilate a little bit of air coming through there. You've also got a little bit of air routing around, which will also take air from the wheel well. So lots of aero design on a car like this. But it's not a bonkers one that'll be hard for you to replicate like the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Is that what I'm thinking of? The Aston Martin Valkyrie? Or is it the Vulcan? Let's have a look. Valkyrie? Yes, the Valkyrie. So the Valkyrie is doing a lot of the same sort of stuff, but in a much more extreme way. And I love this car. This car would probably be too hard to replicate most times in automation. So there's your extremes. That's why I use the Celine S7 as an example. It's not balls to the wall, which would be really hard to do in automation, but shows a lot of thought process when it comes to airflow and aerodynamics. Anyway, so that was just a big rant. If you're wanting to do this sort of stuff, look at examples. So the Celine S7, I think, is a very good example of aero processes. Whether it's actually good at it, I don't know. I'm not an automotive engineer like Kyle engineers on YouTube. Very interesting guy to watch. Decisions were made here, not good decisions, but certainly decisions. I mean, they were trying. If this person is a beginner, this is not particularly bad. They haven't done anything really ugly, except for this fuel filler cap the window's not being fully transparent, and the knacker duct is just a bit of an irksome thing for me. The knacker duct is the wrong way around. I won't bother boring you guys with how knacker ducts work. But yeah, the front could do with a little bit more. Does the Celine have hood vents? No, but the Celine does have a knacker duct on the hood there, so you could have put some sort of detail there. Maybe for like cabin cooling or something. No windshield wipers. I don't really mark people down for that, but if you're looking for more things to add, you could add windshield wipers. Using Vortex to seal the underfloor? You generally don't want a lot of vortices underneath a car. That will reduce your ground effects efficiency. So, yeah, you don't want to create vortices under the car. The reason why the strakes are there are for other reasons. You do want a little bit of vortices in some circumstances, though, so sometimes having that will be there. But generally, you don't want too much of a vortice created on your diffusers underneath the car. What is the production year of this car? I do not know. Selena 7 is a rocket. I am assuming it's a very fast car. I did a replica of the Valkyrie in 4.1 with no bods like 8 to 10 months ago. Oh dear. That would have taken a long time and a lot of effort. Anyway, next we have this cute little bugger. Nice. You don't see it. Sorry, got a little bit of burp coming on there. Many people using this car body. And the main reason is because the front looks like, in an ugly way, quite flat. So they've tried to compensate. They've gone, you know what, I want to use this body, and I'm going to try to make it look good. And they've done an okay sort of job. I feel that it's like too much of a hard lip on this here that makes it look more unnaturally flat of a front end. I don't know, I wish the automation devs would fix the design on the front end of this car a little bit more, because it's not a great 3D model, if we're going to be honest. Let me rephrase it. Use Vortex around the floor to seal the underfloor. You know what? I don't know how that works. That is not something I have looked into at all. Anyway, one of the things they used to do back in the day was have skirts along the sides of F1 cars that would actually seal the car to the ground. And it was just kind of like loosely sprung in there a little bit. And that was to... seal off the air coming in underneath and reducing your downforce efficiency, because downforce was the name of the game. And then because it could break or damage the track, stuff like that, and then if it did break, it could suddenly and in a horrific way affect your downforce. So they weren't around for very long. I think they were worried about it and they removed it very quickly. You don't like this body, but it's not the worst? I kind of agree. Gives a bit of a Daihatsu Copen vibes. I kind of see that. Yeah, a little bit of Copen in here. Keep trying to make a key car, but for some reason it shows 0 fuel efficiency despite nothing being wrong. Yeah, there is some issues currently, so they're still working on it. This car would look better with a longer front Irvang. I do agree, but it does work as it is. I think it looks okay. They've thought about it. Unfortunately, though, yeah, they've tried to make a front splitter sort of design here, and it hasn't really worked. I don't know how to really... It just... The front splitter has not worked at all, unfortunately. Vortices are usually used to energize flow. Yes, which can be used to prevent flow separation or indeed for sealing the underfloor. Flow separation is one of the big ones. It'll also be used quite often with canards to stop air from interacting with the wheels too much and stuff like that. 1953 K car right now. Okay. Working fine for you? That's odd. Interesting. All right. Let's go have a look and see what's in this thing. We got super light wheels. We got 3 piston brakes. You probably didn't need 3 piston brakes for this car, but sure, okay. Your choice. Double wishbones. with a... Is that a very big engine, or is the car just small? I think the car is just small. A 4-cylinder double overhead cam we have. What do we got here? 4 valves per cylinder, so they haven't chosen 5. They've got a reasonable manifold going into a quite large turbo by the looks of it. That's a choice that they've made. So this thing, independent throttle bodies, interesting. They haven't gone, I think, I don't know how automation exports, if it's exported correctly or not, but this looks like multi-point and not direct injection. So they've made choices. They've made some sacrifices. I'm interested to see how this car turns out. We don't have all-wheel drive, so that's good, though with a short wheelbase rear-wheel drive like this thing is probably going to want to turn around very, very in a not wanting it to happen kind of way. Anyway, we have a single piston brake, so they have a decent balance. I would assume maybe there's still maybe a little too much on the front, but I don't know. Double wishbones, fairly standard stuff here. The back, I mean, it looks okay. I feel the number plate doesn't really belong there. And the reason why I'm saying that is, one, it looks like you're blocking off some ventilation if there's meant to be ventilation there. Maybe you're trying to hide the fact that it has ventilation because it's not a mid-engine car. I mean, that's understandable. But it's also interfering with the work of a diffuser. So, yeah, I feel that doesn't go there. So it could have gone up here where your badge is, maybe integrate your number plate housing with the lift-up mechanism, if that's what you want to go with. And then you'll have more room to be able to still stick your badge on in a very prominent position. And yeah, not very often you see a third brake light not actually in like a higher position. So that's interesting. Super taillights, a little bit, I do see it. I shall wait patiently to take the K car up Bathurst then, okay. The backs are the worst part of the body? Now, if I put tweaks on it, then it won't be fully your car. Anyway, we have 2 seats, a very basic interior, but it is an interior. They've got a manual, 3 pedals, all that kind of stuff. All right, good. They've got all the gubbins, unlike the other car, where they've got a more fitting fuel cap, even if it's like all bent out of shape because of the way the body is, but to each their own, I suppose. Got the door handle, we got a side indicator, we have windshield wipers, even though those windshield wipers look a little bit too stretched 3-dimensionally. You can have a squiz at it and offer suggestions if you want. Sure. Anyway, then we've got this more modern muscle car sort of looking thing. I am interested to see how this car actually turns out. It looks pretty decent. They've gone for some interesting design choices. So I'm excited to see what happens here. We've got a big quad cam V8 with dual plenum intakes, 4 valves per cylinder. Pretty big, pretty beefy. I'm expecting a lot of power from this thing because this would not be a cheap engine to make. Like, not only have they gone quad cam, but they've gone with more than one throttle body. You're starting to get into a more premium class at that point. Otherwise, you just wouldn't bother and you just, like, make it more powerful through the more conventional methods of just, like, more fuel, more engine capacity, which I just don't get. Not talking to me? Okay, then, fair enough. Then we have double wishbones with 6 piston brakes. Okay, if you say so. Headers, once again, okay. We've only had, like, what, 1 person actually bother using real sorts of exhaust manifolds to be expected. Multi-link on a muscle car. I suppose, okay. And then single piston brakes. That is going to be a massive disparity in the brake performance. And I feel that that is actually going to affect us. I feel the ABS is going to be way too overpowered. I am also noticing that they used my rework of the Charger grille. Except, I don't know about their integration with the light here. Maybe they could have used patchwork to smoothen off this edge to match the edge of this. What they could have done to make the edge more sharper on this one is actually stretched it, scaled it out three-dimensionally to be really deep, and then put in some patchwork that's only a little bit inset to make it look not so deep. But that'll still give you a much more sharper edge on the lip of it. That could have worked. Ah, this is your car broken. I thought it might have been, but I wasn't quite sure, so I didn't say anything. Hey, Ringo! How's it going? Or Ringo, sorry. I believe we have a car of yours this week. Anyway, I like the fact that you've... You know what, actually, this is a really nice rear diffuser. What have you done? Is this all 3D fixtures and stuff? It's really hard to tell what you've done here, but that's actually quite nice. The only thing you could have done is made a custom exhaust to match your custom exhaust hole. I like this. There's a lot of really cool details in here, like, yeah, like the reverse light and everything, the custom exhaust shape sizes, the extra little lights down here, and then you've got the little side marker light sort of thing, which I've noticed a lot on American cars, so that's also good attention to detail. I like that. But even though this is too flat, in my opinion, it is too flat to then have like this really sharp edge here for this vent. Aside from that, this is quite good. I do like it a lot. Hey, Flamesy, how's it going, bro? That's a cool muscle car. I think it's pretty cool as well, except for the brake imbalance. That's probably going to be an issue. The interior looks rather nice. Is that going to be an animated dash? I get the feeling it might be. It looks really nice in here, actually. Then coming into the back, decent seats, no headrests. You do generally still have headrests in these sorts of cars because it's a requirement to stop whiplash. It may take up a lot of mirror space, but that's just what you deal with more modern cars, so it's unfortunate. What do we look... Sorry, I'm getting hiccups and burps. What is this? Oh, okay. You've tried to fill it in. Fair enough. You've done a fairly good job of covering up pretty much everything. You've done a decent job with the seatbelt. Yes, a lot of the time seatbelts do sit behind. You've got the latch lever thing there to be able to pull the seat forward and on the correct side, so good details there. And you see here that the seat is a little bit farther forwards, but not too far forwards. I feel that steering wheel looks a little too thin, as in you've like you've scaled down the steering wheel to fit how you want it to fit, but unfortunately the steering wheel looks disproportionate to the size of the plushness of everything else. Could just be me though. Anyway, good positioning of everything. Nice work. Good legroom. I think this is a pretty good job. I did just get here, so I know little. Alright, Cascade Freak. Welcome, Cascade Freak, if I haven't said hello yet. No rear headrests? Yeah, I've noticed you got no rear headrests. Anyway, good work. Your windshield wipers are looking... weird is the word I'm going to use there. Anyway, then we've got this one. This one I'm intrigued by because it says JDM, but then it's got much more of a body kit than what a standard JDM car would have. And the paint job is a lot more than what you'd ever have on any standard car of this sort of time period, because it's not just flake, but it's pearlescent. So I feel that this is probably an aftermarket modified version of said car. Anyway, going in, we have 2 piston brakes, vented disc, not full size, so that's fairly accurate. I do like it. Double wishbones front drive. We got a pretty big turbo with a reasonable manifold. Got the short cast there. Then 4 valves per cylinder on an overhead camshaft. Rare, but okay. Individual throttle bodies. Okay, I suppose. That's a really nice looking car. It does look very pretty. But then there's Midnight Purple. I don't know what exactly it is that you're referring to there. I have heard of the color Midnight Purple, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember exactly what it is. Anyway, coming down here, we've got... Okay, so we do have at least all-wheel drive. So I'm guessing this is going to be a little bit more like your Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I don't know much about that car. Was the 3000 GT longitudinal or transverse engine mount? I don't know. Anyway, then coming into the rear, we've got double wishbone and single piston brakes. So these brakes are probably going to be quite balanced. Probably not set up for track, as these brakes are quite a lot smaller than what they could really be to fit in here. And I like that because most cars had big wheels, but not very big brakes. Only up until like, only starting from about the early mid 2000s did they start having really big brakes on cars that like filled out the wheels, which would be on your like really top end cars, usually ones that are handmade where they're not going like, oh, we're gonna have a range of cars, so they're gonna come in a range of brakes, so we should have brakes to be able to fit the smallest wheels, and then we'll just have bigger wheels and not bother changing the brakes because that would be too much money. So things like your Bentleys, your Ferraris, Lamborghinis, I think Rolls-Royce did it, but I think Bentley did it first before Rolls-Royce. That sort of stuff. Hey, BMX Vlogs, how's it going? Hello, Phil, did my car make it through? I don't think we have your name on the list. No, unfortunately we don't. This is a color for the 90s? Midnight Purple Skyline. All right, let's go have a look. Wait, that was a stock color? I always thought that that was aftermarket. I stand corrected then. It was a longitudinal V6? I thought it might have been. Now somebody else is saying it's a transverse V6. Okay, well, whatever. Fair, whatever. We got in here, is that meant to be a spare wheel that you could see from underneath? Okay, I see what they're trying to get at here. They've tried to fill out the boot. Nice work. But weird with that. Sure, whatever. The back end actually looks quite nice. I do think I prefer the back end compared to the front end. Though I like both, but I do like the back end more. Oh man, can you check it out after the main part of the stream? You'll have to send a link in Discord after the stream then. Midnight Purple was a stock paint job for the V-Spec. Sorry, V-Spec R34. I don't know much about V-Spec. Is that a... I've heard of it. Yes, I have played Gran Turismo. But is that a aftermarket tuning thing, or is that an in-house sort of tuning place? Kind of what Nismo became eventually. Only 282. Okay, fair enough. You don't have Discord? Then right at the end of the stream when it's over, send the link then I'll probably have a chance to look at it. It's in the Reddit? Yeah, I know, but I don't want to have to sort through all that sort of stuff. You know how late it's going to be by the time I'm done with the stream today? Bruh. Anyway, let's pop into the inside. Ah, it's correct side drive. Thank you. Nice detail on the interior. Hey, that is not accurate. I don't know what year this is, but I feel that this car is before cup holders were like a thing really that car companies did. I like that they've got this sort of dual, and this is something I've struggled with as well. I've not thought to do this though, and I like this design. I might steal it for myself. Is this center console, which I like a lot. There's also another interior fixture which does a similar thing, but not the same design. But then, like, it doesn't really want to match into anything, and I like the fact that they've used a different fixture here to continue on those lines. So I like that work. I'm probably going to steal that at some point. Not exactly the same, but, you know, inspired by this inspiration you've given me. V-Spec was in-house. They were lifter models with lighter suspension and not much difference. Okay. Oh, lighter models. Okay, fair enough. What year is this car? I don't know. I believe it has J-Spec in the name. Here we go, 1994. I don't know, when did cup holders become a thing? I feel that it was like a late 2000s, sorry, a late 90s thing. Or did it be than everything else here? You should do that as well, Crash Skate Freak. What, the joining on a thing. It was in-house tuning, but don't think it was Nismo, but if... Okay, cool. Man, I swear I made similar car to this in old automation. Fair enough. Anyway, I've actually been enjoying the steering wheel in some of my more personal builds that I do just for the hell of it. I like the steering wheel, so good choice of steering wheel there. Rear legroom, very spacious. Positioning of seat to steering wheel, legroom for the front there. Oh, very well done. Everything here is just like, good. I like. Feels the seats are a little bit far back though, but it could just be set up for a tall person. Who knows? So I like. It looks actually very well thought out for an interior. I like it a lot. Bit of a dash filler in here. They've done a very good job of filling in that dash. Only like the slightest of bits, which is like nigh impossible to get rid of. Unless you fill it in with a little bit of extra using, what's it called? Patchwork. Use the like angled patchwork, make it really flat, make it fit in there. But then that becomes like really janky and not very pleasant to look at eventually. $270R Sylvia? Never heard of it. GMC Suburban had cup holders in 94. Oh, okay then, fair enough. Was it the Americans that got it first and then the rest of the world? If so, then this is a German car made for a Japanese market. I feel that neither of those would have bothered with a cup holder quite as early as an American car. Though, once cup holders came out, oh my god, why were they not a thing earlier? Cup holders are so good. The steering wheel is based on the Mitsubishi Galant wheel. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I just like the steering wheel. It's a nice, subtle steering wheel. Hey, Space Warrior! How's it going, bruv? Then we've got a fairly rudimentary design, but not a bad one. They've got a good grasp of leading lines and matching designs, all that sort of stuff. It's not perfect, but it's quite good, and I'm happy with this. So, you've got the leading lines coming in down here that match up with this off-angle bit here, which then goes to kind of create a bit of a leading line there. This then joins into the bottom grill vent area here, which has leading lines. This one kind of matches the leading line a little bit. This one, I don't know, it's an off leading line. It can happen. This matches this sort of line here. Lots of good little details here. It is, unfortunately, though, a little bit like two-dimensional. You're relying on, unfortunately, automation's vents and grills being just so bland. Maybe break it up a little bit. Stick a little bit of a, like, 213 Fiesta ST. Is that what I'm thinking of? Come on, load in so I can see. No, not really. 18? No, I must be thinking of a different car entirely. But the sort of cars where they put things inside of the grill. Hey, Governor, how you... Bloody hell, what's that purple SUV? Oh, we're getting to that one. Oh, Crownless, you need to go for a bit? Okay, see you later, Crownless, when you get back. I broke my cup holders, so that sucks. Existence is a pain. Oh dear, I'm going to be moving over to a car soon that has no cup holders. And I'm going to probably 3D print something to fit in there. We have big-ass brakes inside of this thing. Full size, so not the most realistic, but also some cars did do it. I feel that these brakes are maybe actually too big, but I'm not going to mark them down too much. That's just more of a detail thing than anything else. Hopefully the car handles nicely. Is this carbon ceramic brakes? Okay, this is going to be a very expensive car then. Double wishbone with front drive. Probably, yep, no, I do see a drive shaft going out the back. So this is an all-wheel drive vehicle, big lumpy V8. Once again, headers on there, not a normal manifold. Gonna like it down, people, for that. Because everyone seemingly is doing, not everyone, but like most people are doing it. And most people are realizing that if most people are doing it, then that's going to give like an unrealistic expectation for what normal cars have. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to give every car you have sports headers. You guys have cup holders. Lucky came with one of the lovely. Oh yeah, I remember that Volvo 240 glove box. Do we have? Yeah, I don't know if you can see this very well. Why is that so small? God damn it, why are these images so small? What's going on? There we go, that's a little bit bigger. So this is what Volvo had. They kind of had like a placemat sort of thing that kind of looks like it was more for a picnic, because if you ever tried to put a cup in what these look to be cup holder sort of areas, any time you move, they just fall over. So they weren't very good. They were more for like come to a stop, maybe have a bit of a picnic. I don't know what they were thinking. They were basically unusable, because if you come to a stop, you're not really using cup holders most of the time. It was so weird. My real car has headers, so if I make a replica of them on marks me down, I don't know. Depends. Did it come from factory with headers? Aftermarket, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. If you say your car is aftermarket modified, then fine. Free reign to do whatever you want. Headers are one of the first things that people do because it's so cheap and quite effective to do. Anyway, big quad cam V8 dual intake manifold. I like. Oh, is this a V10? Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is, okay. Nice. Interesting. I didn't expect that. Got some weird cutaway down there. That's funny. Let's go out to the rear of the car. Dual exhaust running all the way down. Multi-link suspension again. 2 piston brakes. Okay. I think that's carbon ceramics. Then on... I think that's sports tires. Yeah, Dunlap. That's sports tires. The back end. I could see that you've put considerably less time into the back end. The front end, you did a rather nice job. The back end is not bad, it's just sparse. It feels like there needs to be a lot more detail in here. You could have maybe made this little I'm spoonerizing everything. Grill vent sort of thing. You could have made that a little bit taller and then moved the number plate to be in the middle of the hatch here instead. As it stands, it's a little bit bland here in the middle. Would be probably the word I use. Also, what I probably would do specifically, if I got to this point and didn't know what was going on here, I would probably not use this, and I would use the one fixture that's like a... It's like a rectangle, and it just slants in. So like a... Yeah, it slants in. I would put that here to make it look as if you reach up under whatever this like badge trim piece is, and you could then like lift up the hood from there, as opposed to just having this handle out in the middle of nowhere, which looks weird. Also a little bit too low. When people are carrying things, they don't want to have to like bend over too much. So I feel that that would be probably a little bit too low to be comfortable. Just as I look over here and see exactly the same thing on this car as well. So, pretty decent, but not quite there yet on the back. Just deleted your whole exhaust system. Or just delete your whole exhaust system. What? Oh, you're talking about for more flow? It's like cup-shaped indent in play. Yes, that's what the Volvo glove box was like. They were just indents. That was it. They didn't help the cups not fall over at any point. And also, generally, if you wanted to like stop and do a bit of a picnic thing, you had to be on flat ground. Because if you're on like the side of the road or anywhere where the ground wasn't completely flat, it was on too much of a tilt, and that glove box was not particularly sturdy, that if there was the slightest bit of tilt, a lot of the times the cups would be so prone to tipping over. So they were just no good. It feels like they went, you know what, let's do something. And they didn't do a very good job of it. Welcome. It says Jorgen in English, but I'm assuming that's meant to be more like Jürgen. Welcome, Jürgen Asfim. How's it going? I don't believe I've seen you around here before. Christian Lee Shader, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Can you watch the first part? YouTube says the video is not available. Can you watch the first part? YouTube says... Huh? I'm confused as to what it is you're trying to ask me now. Okay. Let's go in and see what you've done for the interior. I see monitors everywhere. I see what you've tried to do here, but it ends up looking, because it's too three-dimensional, a bit like a Fisher-Price play toy, unfortunately. I like it, but it hasn't quite worked the way you would hope. It's like one of those like old 90s toys where it's got like the big button. You press it and the cow goes, moo, sort of thing. Not exactly, but that sort of thing. You're not late this time, Silver Moonfang? You're not early. You're not on time. You're just not... You're just latent. As in, like, not late. Oh dear, it's a modern car. The screens. Screens everywhere. Oh, I love the start button. And then the sport button. You go to, like... You're driving along, you're like, you know what, I feel like driving a little bit more. I'm going to press the sport button. Oh, no, I turned the engine off. I've watched all of your videos, but it's my first stream. Oh, thank you, Jurgen. Those toys still exist and look exactly the same. Oh, look the exact same. Yeah, sounds about right there, Groundhog. Anyway, got good foot room. Steering wheel position is quite good. Maybe a little bit too close to the seat. Maybe drop the front of the seat down or something. I don't know. Feels like that might pinch a little bit. I feel like maybe just I'll bring the whole dash up a little bit? No. No, maybe that is right. It just feels if you got like big fat legs like I do, that might be a little bit of a problem. Put it in race mode? Sport mode, I meant. Whatever. Is it just me or the door handles are missing? No, it's got Tesla door handles. Which car are we talking about here? And welcome, Tom. Hey, Tom! Did you get my Discord message? I've got 5 DMs. Tom. Tom. Tom, the cardinal sin of my Discord stream, sort of. Tom. Oh no. You've done it. You know what? You're here now. You know you shouldn't do that. You should always check to see if I'm streaming before you DM me around the time in which I stream. Ooh, that was a close one, Tom. Oh dear. But those are the rules. If anybody else does it, that is a direct block until the end of the stream, unless you bid like a real shit. Anyway, this is looking pretty decent. Oh, also, Tom, you've missed the stream, so I'm not going to be reviewing the cars this week. You'll have to resubmit them. I'm actually excited to try the one that looked a little bit like the R31 Skyline race car sort of thing. That one I was really excited to try until I got there and realized it didn't work, and I was so disappointed. Just woke up, so not in the best condition. Fair enough. Damn Phil Ruthless. I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's because people keep pinging me, and it just irks me to see pings and notifications when I'm trying to stream, because my ADD just won't allow me to not pay attention to it. Anyway. Big dials there. I feel that these dials aren't very good. Unless they're meant to be buttons, maybe. But then you're getting into problems with being able to, like, tactile feel if you're trying to feel without looking. The problem I have with these dials, if you try to turn a dial, your fingers are going to get, like, stopped. You're going to have to, like, do part turns if you want to change anything. So I feel those dials are maybe a little bit big. This makes me tempted to DM Phil, but I am not that much of a shit. Thank you, Groundhog, for not being that much of a shit. Anyway. Pretty good details here. Leg room in the back. A lot of people miss out on that. They've got a very squished and weird positioning for seat. I wonder if they've had problems with the rear wheel well. Just getting too much in the way. Yep. That is a tight fit that they've tried to do there. I don't know what it is. Is it automation that have made their bodies wrong? Is that what it is? Or is there more to this sort of design? I feel like I just want to get a car and chop it into pieces so then I could, like, figure out how they do these sorts of things. Because this is such a big issue in automation cars. Oh yeah, if you update a link, all your links just get updated. You don't have to, like, resend links or anything. That's how that works. But yeah, you'll have to resubmit it for next week, because I'll probably forget. Big sunroof sort of thing, so that's going to make it require air conditioning. And then there's a thing in the middle? Okay, maybe that's like a support structure sort of thing, because they haven't got, like, full Tesla. Then we got this big, like, weird, ugly donk type thing. I am going to go out on a limb and say, yes, that is ugly. There are some really cool details on here, but this is way over-designed. This is sex spec from the 2000s gone overboard. Way, way overboard. And I kind of love it. So it should work? What should work? I'm so confused. This is ugly. Kind of, in some ways. Two-door SUV. I do like two-door SUVs, actually. Kind of. I don't like SUVs. But out of SUVs, I like two-door SUVs, or three doors, technically, the most. I know a lot of bodies that wind up having the rear wheel, well, too far forward. Yeah, but that one actually looked particularly close on this car here. Like, it is really, really close. I gotta do something on that. Like, figure out how that works. I don't actually have a four-door car at the moment, so it's gonna be tricky to look at. But then, like, make a video on how, like, the design there would go. I could see Pimp My Ride, but 2020. A little bit. Pimp My Ride with, like, way too much money. Two-door SUV kind of useless, in my opinion. All SUVs are kind of pointless. Unless you really need to go off-road, or you actually go off-road. Which, 99.999999% of people don't actually go off-road with them. So, get them the fuck off the road, please. I feel that unless you're a farmer, there should be extra tax on SUVs to get them off the goddamn road because they are a menace. Maybe not so much in America, I don't know. But everywhere else in the world where, like, small cars are still the norm, they are a massive pain in the ass to everybody else on the road. Car parks are the worst. It's like one of those unbranded toy cars. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Where they, like, try to compete with Hot Wheels by just being dramatic. They should buy wagons instead. They look way cooler. I mean, some wagons I would agree with, yes. GMC Denali. I don't know what that is. Here in Australia, I would, you know, want to murder somebody that would buy a car like this. Way too big, way too much of a hassle for everybody else on the road. My dad is an older Defender, and he takes a 4x4, and everyone in my town hates it. I mean, if you actually go off-road, then sure, okay. Don't take it to a grocery store. You're a dick if you do. SUVs were pretty good for towing, since modern cars tend to have fairly low towing capacity from what I've seen. Colonel Skies, I would incredibly, overwhelmingly disagree with that statement in every inch of the every fiber of my body disagrees with that statement completely. Unless you're towing an actual truck trailer, like a full thing with a fifth wheel, then I completely disagree with your statement. There's a Dodge Ram that putters around Harndorf, and I don't understand how that thing fits on the road. Dodge Rams are like the big dick mobile, as in you're a big dick if you have one here in Australia. As far as I know, for rear seats, they always further forward than you think. The dodges are the further back. Yeah, I do kind of get what you're getting at there, Groundhog. I just want to kind of do a little bit of a detail on it to like actually give somebody a quantifiable explanation of how to design it in automation. It does it through town to get to the trails. Okay. You're giving me flashbacks to American car parks. I'm pretty sure the reason my hearing's as bad as it is can be blamed on muffler delete pickup trucks. Yeah, like muffler and catalytic converter deletes. Like, what the hell? Why be such a douche? Motorbikes do it as well. Like, come on. Really? You're not going to gain that much power. All you're going to do is make, like, everybody else so much more uncomfortable. Name me any SUV and I'm going to hate somebody that drives it. I mean, my dad has one, but then he just kind of, like, parked it up and never drove it again. Whatever happened to small pickups? Utes here in Australia just aren't made anymore because we don't have Ford and we don't have the other one. But yeah, Ford being, like, probably the more successful ute maker here in Australia. Let's have a look at the engine of this thing. That is a big... I can't even tell as weird details around here. And it's way too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big V10. We've got 4 valves per cylinder. Is that a variable manifold? I believe it is. Double wishbone. 6 piston brakes. We do have drive to the front and drive to the rear. Okay. Multi-link rear suspension on an SUV. Sure, I suppose. Why not? Then single pistons. 6 on the front, 1 in the rear. This braking imbalance is going to be absolutely abysmal. Canola Ford has made a new small truck, the Maverick. I don't know what Canola Ford is. Let's have a look. Ford Maverick. Maverick. That is not a small... That's not a ute. Maybe it's a small truck. But that's still not small. It's also a dual cab. And dual cabs, funnily, here in Australia, have horrific resale values. Like... There's the 2-door ute that only sits like 2 or 3 people. And then there's the 4-door utes and stuff. They sell so much worse here in Australia, used. Even I can better brakes, get cool. Muffler deletes tiny PP energy. I mean, it really depends what you're trying to do. If it's like not netting you anything, but just becomes obnoxiously loud from too far away, then yeah, small PP. It's like, oh, I need to make up for the fact that I'm not very cool, so I'm going to put a big exhaust on and people will pay attention to me. They'll pay attention to you and think of murderous things. It's someone in the stream. What? By small ute, I was thinking back to VW cat. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking that small. Anyway, let's have a look at the interior here. We got lots of carbon fiber. Way too much carbon fiber, but I suppose that's becoming a bit of a fashion thing. I think carbon fiber interiors are going out of fashion, though. Then we've got this, which is meant to illuminate, I believe, which is pretty cool. Fairly decent seating kind of arrangement, except for the fact that this seat is a little too far back. You've got no rear seat, so it's not a very practical vehicle. Then we've got this. A VW Passat, ice smiling, and exhaust system. Oh, is missing an exhaust system. By the way, Phil, I fixed the link for the car I submitted. I saw your comment. Too late. A 2-seater SUV? Yeah, they're not great, are they, 2-seater SUVs? So you deliver the Nissan S-Cargo. That is a small one, but there's other small utility vehicles. So, they've taken my sort of thing where I chop away a lot of the side here, except they've done it even more. They've clearly not been a big fan of this line, which I'm actually working on at the moment. Let me show you something. Wait, no, hold on. New install of window. Who this? Body rework. I don't have Blender installed yet. Okay, so new window install. I'm reworking this body in a few different ways. One of which I'm removing this weird line that runs down the side, and doing a few other things as well. Not so late, but could you check it out at the end of the stream? We'll see. Put the link in at the end of the stream and I'll check it out. So, I see that they've tried to do some body cutaway work, which is very admirable. Got a very big channel cut down the side here. Very patchworky, but at least it doesn't look that bad at a distance, which is really the most you can hope for out of an automation car, because I just wish there was more stuff you could do sometimes. Loud Subarus that backfire too common around here. Yeah, I understand that. Subarus are very loud around here. I see that they've also used that one grill rework that I did for like the charger grill sort of thing. I like it. I like your choice of exhaust to be like that. Interesting. I like that. You've tried to work with this rear diffuser sort of thing. I like that. That's something that I struggle with as well. I like the fact that this comes down to a point. I don't like that this comes down, then it has a hump, then it goes in again, and then comes out kind of a little bit more horizontal. I don't like that hump in the middle. It just doesn't... Like, I know that that's a limitation. It's unfortunate. I don't like it, unfortunately. But, as a whole, this car is pretty good. I see you've also tried to use the wrong roof vent. Oh, scoop, I should say. There is one that is better suited. Unfortunately, though, it sticks way too far into the car. So I'm going to be probably doing a rework on that at some point. Question, Phil, where... will there be LMH-themed live stream test? I think it would be cool to have many LMH cars in one place. I mean, we could do that at one point. Sounds like a handgun going off. How on earth does anything find that to sound pleasant? Or anyone? Sure, fair enough. You need coffee, Magpie? I'm reading this and I think I need coffee just to be able to get through that. Welcome, King Cobra 45 to the stream. How's it going? I live right beside a highway, and hearing motorcycles racing at 10,000... at 10 p.m. doesn't really make my night. Yeah, I understand that. Motorbikes are like the most obnoxious people. You get all these like videos on YouTube about motorcycle apologists talking about like, oh, this person was shitty to a motorcyclist. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, screw off. Most motorcyclists are shit, so I don't mind grouping most motorcyclists in having the assumption that you're a shit person if you have a motorcycle right off the bat. Unless, yeah, no, I think if somebody has a motorcycle, it is not prejudice to show prejudice, I think. I think it's a bit of a weird way of saying it, but you get what I mean. Like, the assumption is not from nowhere. I relate to that so much. I'd love motorcycles if they didn't destroy my ears. Yes, in my local area, there's like 3 motorcyclists that not only have removed all their mufflers and everything, but have somehow made them even louder than what you would expect anything ever to be. And it is ear-bleedingly loud. I hate them so much. Like, they've driven past me a few times and I just felt like I wanted to like run onto the road suddenly and just cannonball into them and knock them off and like cause massive injuries to both of us just to stop them. Like, goddamn. Like, they hurt my ears. Now, I know I have Asperger's, that puts me in the spectrum. I am sensitive to loud noises. But that is actually like louder than nightclub sort of thing where it makes people's ears ring afterwards. They installed loudnesses? Yeah. Oh, that steering wheel comes too far up onto the seat. Way too much ugly carbon fiber, unfortunately, has not really come out probably the way you want it to. It's very shiny. Seats could probably be a little bit further back, or the steering wheel a bit further forward. No, I think a bit of both. Seats further back, steering wheel a little bit further forwards, maybe. Your dash is If you want extra details to do for dash, what you could have done is made the dash curved, which then would allow you to have the gauges and steering wheel just a little bit further forwards. But not bad. Just, oh, I hate the carbon fiber in here. Every so often there's people with Harleys next door. You know what? I don't actually mind Harley so much. They're loud, but they're like a lower decibel. Oh, sorry, no, a lower frequency, which is less irritating, in my opinion. But they are excessively loud. Usually Harley drivers are. But I don't know. I think I like a deeper burbly sound. Anyway, lots and lots of detail on this car. I feel this like midway cutout sort of thing doesn't work really well because of this unfortunate line down the side of the body. You live under a runway, so you're used to noise, I guess. Fair enough. But the guys who put megaphones on bikes and go like hell. Same goes for the pop and bang tunes, Seats and Fiestas. Oh, okay then. 16,000 RPM from the inline 4 is not pleasant. Yeah. Anyway, have I looked at the running gear on this? Let's go see what we've got in here. Very small brakes. 6-piston. Push rod. That's a choice. No front drive, so at least they haven't gotten lazy and they've tried to tune themselves a 2-wheel drive car. You can go all-wheel drive. It just feels a little bit like laziness. You haven't tried to create something truly interesting. So I am not saying the Lamborghini Murcielago is a bad car or an uninteresting car. But when they released like the whatever that version was that was named after the test driver that was just 2-wheel drive of the Murcielago or whatever it was, oh, that was special. And that's the one that a lot of people remember very specifically. So, I mean, you can make all-wheel drive cars, but if you make a rear-wheel drive car that handles well, oh, you will have my respect, sir. But here we go. We have headers from a V10, twin turbo by the looks of it, I'm assuming. Yeah, twin turbo, V10, individual throttle bodies, all that sort of stuff. 4 valves per cylinder. The suspension is double wishbone, 6 pistons, and small. Unfortunately, your brakes are probably going to cook really, really bad. What you should have done is probably less pistons and a bigger brake disc. Like, maximize it out there. If you don't want to go full size, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to go full size, because that would be rare to see that on a vehicle. But yeah, those brakes are way too small, meaning that they don't have enough thermal mass, and the fact that they're going to be overworked because they don't have like leverage from out further, those brakes are going to cook. Anyway, those are the 9 cars for this week, because as I said, Night Dragon's car for some reason hasn't shown up, and I don't get it. It's in my mods folder. Who needs brakes? Useless. I mean, yeah, sure, if you're driving in a straight line forever, it's completely pointless. Who needs brakes? Anyway, I mean, just look at a Snowpiercer. Nobody needs brakes. Pfft. And when you want to stop, the people will riot, take over the train, and crash it. Nobody needs brakes. It's... Oh, I get what you're saying there, Ringu. Well thought out. Oh dear. All right, let's go ahead. The first one. I think I'm going to take that around automation test track to see just how well tuned this car is, hopefully. The front brakes on my IRL Evo 6 were so big, the Space Saver spare tire didn't fit. Oh, really? I feel that was maybe an aftermarket brake kit that you had on there then, because that would be illegal here in Australia, at least. Also, welcome, Nora Troff. How's it going? Dear God, that was a tricky name. Didn't fit. If you got a flat on the front, you had to put the rear tire in the front, the spacer. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, that actually makes sense. Welcome, Ozymandias, if I've not said hello to you yet. Yeah, just use the wall. Brakes? What's that? I can eat it. Or can I eat it? Oh my god. Such a 90s anime trope you've just said there. This brakes are for cowards. This is in Australia? What? Drums all around all the way? Sure. What about the stream? Welcome, Shibi. So, what cars are here? You've just missed them. Wow, we got quite a lot of people here. I mean, we're doing fairly well. If people have liked the stream so far and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. If you've also liked the stream, then maybe you tap that like button. Maybe just a bit of... Anyway, let's move on and test the first car. So, which version of this identical car do we go with? We have an R manual cabrio, automatic cabrio, GT manual cabrio, GT automatic, and GT automatic cabrio. Okay, I want to go with the GT, and I want to go with the cabrio version. So, the details for this car. Who was it that did this car again? This is the Anarchy Aura. This one is by Halcyon 808. So, thank you for the car. If you're recognizing this car in any sort of way, I believe that this is the same one that I did the steering wheel tutorial for. No real details on here, but this is their most technically advanced car to date, and it is similar to an official BeamNG car. So, can we open doors and stuff? Hold on. Turn that strength up. It doesn't look like the doors open. Misa think that's a no good.
Misa think that's a no good thing.
Well, we got quite a... does it have pedals? It does have pedals. Okay, you know what? I know where you're going with this. Hey, the pedals do work. Is the clutch moving? Yes, okay. So all three pedals do move. Does the gear shifter move? No, the gear shifter does not move. I know in automatics you can make the gear shifter move, but I don't know about manuals. I've not tried it out yet. I learned how to do automation from somewhere else, but your tutorial helped my understanding much more. Thank you, Halcyon. Oh, this is your car, Halcyon. You've spoken up. Why do you need doors that open when you have no roof? There's a version with a roof. Don't be a smart ass with a smart ass. But nice work there, Noah. Or Nora. Ayo, are you a Jar Jar enjoyer? No, I don't enjoy Jar Jar at all. It's just...
Misa do a good Jar Jar impression.
We do have a steering wheel. We have what looks to be... a GPS. Yes, the GPS is working and animating. Can we go into like an interior camera so we can show people? Damn it, it's a snapback camera. I hate those. But yeah, you can see that the GPS is actually working there. I'm holding the thing so well. Oh, we've also got like shift lights and everything. That's nice. We have an RPM gauge that works. The speedo is what... I think you've had a bit of an oopsie here. The dials light up when you brake. I don't think that's meant to happen. Same with the thing here. That's lighting up when you brake. Ooh, big off. I did it with a manual gear shifter, but Beam stock cars do not have moving manual gear shifters. I think I remember looking at one of the shifters. It might have been an automatic though, and it doesn't animate. It just dunk. It's in like whatever thing it needs to be in. That interior though, there's a lot of detail, yes, here in the interior. A lot of stuff I like. But is it like a stock car? Unfortunately, no. Is it getting there? Oh, hell yes. You've got a lot of technical details in here that I really do enjoy a lot. If you open up the vehicle animation tab, you can change parts to tune the suspension. Tuning suspension is actually a standard thing now. So you've done all of that work, and now it's just a standard thing in automation. Your car didn't make a Chevy? Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, time to go to bed. Alright, see you later, E-Dragon. You can watch me whilst in bed, I suppose. Anyway, let's go see how this thing handles. Got super duper flares on this thing as well, my goodness. You've also done an interesting job on, like, roof delete onto the parcel shelf sort of area. That's something that I've struggled with, and it looks like here, you've done a fairly decent job. Check that out in a second. Have I got the audio turned down? Audio. Yes, I do. 48, that'll do. It's only 2 degrees on the automation test track. Is it only 2 degrees on the automation test track? Environment. Environment is 2.8 degrees, yes. I don't know how to increase the temperature. Huh. I've never bothered to look at this, but I don't know how to change the temperature. You'll upload it for next week? Okay then. Cold track, it's pretty quiet here. I will too because I had a broken link. Why? Yeah, I don't understand why. That is actually something I've noticed before in the past. Oh my god. The brakes to the rear just then, way stronger than the front, and that caused it to go quite sideways into the corners. That was interesting and fun. Let's see if that happens again heading down into Bavarian Bend. Turn in is good at high speed. Almost understeer, but it actually did quite nicely. Then at the 200-meter board, yeah, the rears lock up just a little bit more than the fronts. Not the best traction, so I wouldn't call this like a supercar, but I would still call it a very high-end sort of sports car. Or yes, a GT car. What's the... Oh, the rear wing is animated as well. Nice. I feel that the front wheels are a little too inset. They could have been out a little bit further. If you don't know how to do that, it's now just the standard part of automation as well. Now, do we have a moving rear wing? No, so it's just an animation and not actually the rear wing moving. I want to have a look at how you've done this rear parcel shelf, because that's something I've not been able to do. What have you done here? Have you 3D modeled that, maybe? I think you might have 3D modeled that. I'm curious about the temperature because there's a thermometer on the dashboard. Does it say what temperature it is? I don't think it's saying. Oh, I don't think it's saying what temperature it is. Oh no, I do see it. It's right in the middle. Sorry, I was looking at this, but that's engine temperature. I do love these lights here, though. That's pretty cool. Nice work there. You can also change the mesh on the steering wheel. Oh, nice. Okay. That sort of stuff gets like super tricky to do as well. Interesting. The brakes allow it to kick out too much, and then the stability control causes the car to not want to oversteer even at slip angle level sometimes, apparently. The braking is not great on this car. Maybe there's... Oh, ESC. Is there, too much camber on the front tires? Let's go ahead, reset the car. Let's turn ESC off. Yeah, and I trimmed it in Blender to look much better. Fair enough. Good work. Does it have all the appropriate warning lights on the dash? I mean, I saw the indicators light up and everything. They did put a lot of effort into this car. There is a lot of effort here. Oh, god damn it! Ah, damn it. Let's try driving this without the traction aids and all that sort of stuff, and just see how we do without it. I forgot going into that corner that we didn't have it. Oh, this does get really sideways. You know what? What ACs do we have? Race. Let's go with race and see how race does. Hopefully, race will do a better job. It sounds good. It does actually sound pretty nice. They've got transmission wind all the way through all of the gears. Lockups on brakes and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Not what I was expecting. You know what? Let's just respawn the car so we can have a try at that again. All right. Cossacks? Ah! Okay, yeah, no. I'm not a fan of the handling. Though now that I'm getting a look at this GT version of the car, I really like that aggressive hood. There's some really good details on there that I like a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You changed the map temperature through the world editor, F11. Oh, okay. Nah, I can't be bothered doing that then. It just seems that that would be a part of the environment stuff. The BeamNG devs are unable. This thing locks up way too much on the rear. My God. Yeah, really interesting. Well done, car. At least on the effort part and the features, multiple versions, etc. Yeah, there's a lot of work on here. Yeah, no, not controllable enough. I feel like you probably shouldn't have called this a GT car and instead just called it a straight up race car. Because as it stands, it's not doing really what you would want this car to do. I do like it. Do you want me to give it a full fill score? You haven't actually given like a price in a year, so I don't think a full fill score is going to do this justice anyway. Considering it's going to get like bad handling scores. Then also I don't know which version to really start scoring on. I'm just going to give this like a 9.4 out of 10 as a simplified fill score. I love this, but I think... What do we got here? That's BeamNG tires. I think if you were to work with the new automation, you'd probably have a little bit more like workability. Like these tires are way too inset. Like why have the fender flares there at all? But I do like it. Let's move on to the next car, which is this one. Let's take this to Italy map. And whilst we wait for Italy to load, let's go with... I want to start in the hill, so let's go there. Give me a second. Oh dear. That's a weird way to load in. Alright, let's bring the car up. There we go. Okay, 1989. The price is on the vehicle selection screen, and I'll work to fix the brakes and handling in the future. I wish I could use new automation. My PC crashes whenever I try. Oh, that's unfortunate. Am I mistaken, or was the blue car burning oil under braking? You know what? I didn't notice, so I don't know. I just didn't even... The exporter is broken as far... Oh, really? I don't have an issue with it. Oh, no, that sucks. Full loaded Italy, but almost got Brazil. Huh? Welcome, STW Viper, first live stream. Well, welcome to the stream, sir. You are very much appreciated here for showing up. Okay, extra sounds added. Interesting sounds as well. Not what I would expect. Very throaty for a 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder, correct? Let's hold on. Let's go and have a quick look here. We have... Oh, okay, hold on. That's right, yes, it is a 4-cylinder. And it does sound like an aftermarket 4-cylinder as well, like a lot louder than what you'd expect. Yeah, drums, yeah, fair enough. Welcome, Gigift, to the stream. How's it going? Once again, ears are demolished. That's what you get for being weird. It's like a... oh, God! It's like one of those group punishments when one of the kids does something wrong and the kid is, like, clearly not learning the lesson of being, like, not showing any attrition. No, not attrition. Whatever. They're not feeling sorry for what they did by the looks of it. So, like, they give everyone extra work to do to, like, punish the one kid sort of thing. And then everyone else punishes him by ostracizing him. Like, that's what I do. You'd be weird. I'd be weird back and hurt you. Optin Alpha constantly breaks my cars now. There are a lot of issues where things will break, yes. I had that just happen recently, where it was just constantly over and over again. It was in one of my recent videos, and that was just a real pain in the balls. Oh, the front brakes! Ah! Okay, yeah. Front brakes locked up so much, and the wheel just went, you know what, I'm gonna leave. You don't remember the Microsoft Flight Sim glitch from a couple of years ago where Brazil was just a massive pit? No. I remember lots of the glitches, but I never knew that Brazil was just a massive pit. That's a very good looking car. I like the look of it. And we've got maybe a little less body roll than what you'd expect from the era, but it's not too bad. Group punishment results in classroom riots. Oh, maybe in your day, but not back in my day. Or at least not at my school. My school, everyone was like scared of the teachers. Because our parents were usually like very cruel and mean. I grew up in a Christian school. Welcome, the BeamNG. How's it going? Oh yes, the elevation data era in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, I remember there was the Tower of Melbourne. That one was always interesting to me because Melbourne is only an 8-hour drive away from me, and I've been there a few times. I've driven there a few times. Reminds me a bit of the VL Commodore. I mean, slightly, but for me, it mostly reminds me of a Peugeot. Oh, I also just noticed how narrow the tires are. Oh, that's cool. I like it. My school, the teachers were scared of the kids because I lived in the ghetto. Fair enough. What they needed was Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, God. Sister Act was such a product of its time. But still, I loved it so much. Melbourne, the tram capital of the world. Kinda, yeah. You could say that South Australia is the church capital of the world, though we're probably one of the more agnostic places in the world, which is quite funny. And we're kind of multiculturally diverse here. God damn it. Reminds you more of a Fiero? This? Nah, not even close, bro. Did you watch Formula 1? A little bit. I saw all of the lead-up stuff, but I didn't actually watch the race itself. It's mostly because I didn't know when the race was and I was doing other things, like installing Windows. God damn it. I'm just going to crash into everything, aren't I? This is not a great place for this car. Is there another place that's better? Because apparently elevation change is not good for this car. It doesn't like it. Let's try this. Okay. It's a little bit downhill, but it's fairly even. Castellio. Oh, actually, I didn't actually read that. There's Mark III Escort in it a little bit. Now I'm seeing a Peugeot 206 from 1992 in a coupe. I think the 40 whatever it was, one that the person mentioned, seems a little bit more like it. The rear is quite similar to a VL Commodore, though. Not that similar, in my opinion, at least. I feel this thing just wants to go off-road, because driving this thing on-road, it Not great. The brakes suck. Oh my god, the brakes are atrocious. I am actually like light footing it and it's still locking up. Do we have a dirt track around somewhere? I'm pulling hard to the side. This is a part of Italy where I've never been before. I've never been there before. That looked actually quite scenic. I liked it. You know what, screw it. Here we go, off-road time. You know what? Maybe this is a little too brutal of being off-road. So maybe not the best place for it. Though it did actually handle quite nicely. Let's see a dirt road section. Do we have a dirt road section on even ground? Because hill stuff? Ah, that is... Oh, that's not a road. Okay, I was about to say, that's a very vertical bit of dirt road. Show me... Is this dirt? Yeah, this is dirt. A little bit narrow and way too high speed. But we'll give it a try. Hey, Chris Games, how's it going, bro? Unless I've said hello to you already, I don't know. You see the escort in the car? I do see a little bit of escort in the car, yes. Late escorts, yes. Okay, so. Oh, little bit of a tendency to oversteer, which you don't want in a road version of a car. But not bad. It can get going. A little bit of delay on the power getting delivered. Ah! No, we're into Tank Slapper and I just couldn't save it. Overcorrecting every single time because it just has a little too much of a bomby knocker effect. Wait, is that it? Is that the only dirt section here? Ah! Not as much traction as I would have liked. Is this bitumen now? Yeah, that's bitumen. All right, let's go back to the dirt section. Try that one last time. Let's refresh it. I just don't want to stop driving this car, if I'm honest. I just want to keep driving it around because I want it to be good. But it's just, it is a car. It's not a really high-end, expensive car. It's just moderate. It feels like this thing would have probably been turbocharged to try to pull off an all-wheel drive kind of sports car. But maybe this thing isn't like, oh my god, high-end, ah! I feel that the suspension is not really tuned for off-road, and the brakes are not tuned for on-road. So, as it stands, it's an unrefined car without a defined target demographic of driving wants from the owners. Hill climb route? Nah, no good. It doesn't like uneven surfaces. Whoever made this need to make a rally car version. I feel like, yes, that would be great. Modded engine sounds? Yes, modded engine sounds, I believe. Because that is a really nice sounding engine. All right, let's go ahead, give this thing a full fill score. What is the name of this car again? It is the 4X4. We'll just call it, we'll just go by 4X4. There it is. This is by Exige B58. Thank you for the car. We've had cars from you before, I believe. Could be wrong though. Anyway, we don't know how much it costs. It's from 1989. I think that's because they put it in British pounds, and I'm not going to do the conversions for you. So you're just going to get a blank on anything money related. A large engine in an economy car with four-wheel drive, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so styling. If we're going realistic, we'll make up for it in the je ne sais quoi factor. Realistically, the styling on this is nice, understated, but also just a little bit sporty, and people are going to like and appreciate that, but it won't stand out so much that people will pay you more attention than what you want. Mod, yeah. So styling is probably going to be somewhere around like a 6. It's nothing really compared to a supercar and the likes. Acceleration, it's not great, so we're going to give that like a 5, because it does feel a little bit sluggish. As for handling, it's not good. On a track, it might be a little bit better, but here on the road, it's like a 3. It is so hard to like not get those wheels spin. Hold on, what tire compound do we have? That was way too fast of a camera movement. I can't see this. Tire. Okay, it's a medium compound tire, so good for off-road, kind of, but the suspension is not good for off-road, and it's not sporty enough for a thing. But you probably wouldn't have had what automation would consider sports tires, really, back in this day for these sorts of cars. I feel that they would have just come on a regular medium or a hard compound like what's on here. So that's not so bad. But fun factor, it really wants to be fun, but it really just isn't quite there. So fun factor is only going to get about a 6, unfortunately. Cool factor, naturally aspirated all-wheel drive car that probably never really did anything particularly special. It's not going to be that cool, but some people are going to like it, so it's going to get a 5. It's not uncool. It's just kind of like, you have to really know what it is you're looking for. But then again, I think it's maybe a little bit cooler than that, because a lot of people are going to look at that car and go, oh yeah, cool, manual 4-wheel drive sort of thing. Oh, yeah, I could work with that. Do a little bit of modding, make it a little bit better. Very French style. Oh, sorry. Very, very styling. Now that's said, Phil hates this car. I mean, it's not... It's understated. They haven't gone French classic styling, which by that I mean make it ugly. So that's kind of what I'm getting at there. Rally tires would be cool thinking... Would be cool thinking of it. Huh? I'm trying to decipher where your mistake in that sentence was. I can't figure it out. I've got nothing. No idea. Anyway, trackability. I'm going to give it like a 6 because I feel as if the thing could actually be tracked. You know what? Actually, a 5. It's probably got like old cookable brakes on there. Features. Well, I'm guessing it's not going to be particularly great. But let's have a look. Do we have a moving steering wheel? No, okay, we don't have any sort of JB then, probably. Oh, it's got an illuminated clock. And it's on independent of the lights and everything. Okay, so features. What do we got? A radio and maybe AC, but probably not actually AC. That's probably just a fan and like cool or hot. So features are going to be like a 2 because there's not even a cassette intake, which you can use to like hook up a wire to do any sort of extra thing. There's not even a cigarette lighter, bruv. Not even able to light up a durry. So leave that as it is. Comfort. It's a fairly decent suspension. It's not too wallowy. It's not very rigid. Off-road, it's not going to be particularly great. The seats look okay as well. You got sizable room. It's not the most roomy car you'll ever find, but the back's fairly good. It's just your front feels a little bit cramped. I don't know how you open the windows. Maybe they didn't think of that. Anyway, that's fine. Comfort. 6, probably? Because it is an older car still. It's a little bit loud, all that kind of thing. Quality. If it's French, which it looks like, then it's going to be particularly bad. But also being an economy car, it's not going to be the greatest, and a short production run, it's probably going to be somewhere around like a 3 or a 4. I'm going to give you a benefit of the doubt and give it a 4. Practicality. I mean, you've got fairly decent room in here. You can fit 5 people. The boot is not small. It's not big. And they've got a big, massive... This isn't... Okay. That's not where a fuel tank usually goes. A fuel tank usually will go here or like here. And be very compact and try to fit in there as tight as possible. Generally underneath the thing. You don't want to fuel tank back here most of the time though, depending how old the car is, because rear end collisions make that unsafe. You generally don't have the fuel tank right up there. Higher center of gravity, takes up boot space, all that kind of thing. You've got space down here to fit a fuel tank in, which you can't use for storage. Up here, you've just taken up the storage space, and that's probably also a ginormous fuel tank as well. That's probably way bigger than what you would ever really practically need for a car like this. So, practicality. Also looked like it'd be fairly good to park, because it's not very big, and the fact that you could drive it on snow and off-road if you ever needed to in a pinch. So practicality is going to actually be pretty high. I'm going to give that an 8 on practicality. Pretty darn good. Value, leave those blank. Same with ongoing costs. J-beam editing, there was none. Would I buy it? Like a 5? I'd be tempted, unless it was French. The je ne sais quoi factor, straight 10. I love the look of it. Realism, a 7. Pretty high on realism. Ford Pinto, yes. The Ford Pinto being the one which everyone goes to for like the rear end collision explosion sort of thing. Ford learned the hard way why you don't put the fuel tank in the back with the Pinto. Yes. But you still can have it in the back, but just not like really far back. Your crumple zone will go up to about here. So if you just kind of like wrap it around the axle maybe a little bit, you can have it to about there. On this car, I probably wouldn't put it there, and I probably would put it there underneath like the rear seat, kind of in front of the suspension. My Pinto got pinned, and now I am dead. I'm assuming you mean pinged? Do I like the Nissan Skyline R33? I think out of all of the Nissan Skylines, the R33, like out of the R versions, not the G35 and all that kind of rubbish, the R33 is probably actually my least favorite of them all. Like, I don't dislike it. I actually do like it. It's just out of all of them, it just doesn't really liven me up. Like, because of Gran Turismo, I loved the 34. It looked, maybe it was because I was playing Gran Turismo 2 at the time. I loved the R34, and I still do love. I still feel that the R34 to me is probably the best looking one, but that's because I grew up with it. I like the R31 because we saw that a lot, and there was a lot of people hooning around on those here in Australia because they were made here. The R32 looked pretty good, and that one got very famous here in Australia. Did very well in the touring car racing around in Australia. The R33 just kind of got a little bit forgotten, honestly, and looks a little bit too... It looks heavy. So, not my favorite. R34 is probably my fave. Even though the R35 is really freaking cool, and I'd be more likely to own an R35 compared to an R34. So yeah, the overall score, 73. That is actually a pretty decent score for an old car, and I love it. Thank you for submitting it. I just wish you kind of had maybe thought a little bit more about like what the use purpose of the car was, and then given me a real price value. Now, so don't get me wrong. You don't have to do the exact automation price when listing it. If the car is lighter than what the car is turning out in automation, you need to make it out of carbon fiber to get it lighter, like say a Lotus 7. Then you can put on whatever price you kind of want there, and that would be fine. If you want to leave a note saying that this is not actually the price in automation, that's fine. Just do not compensate for inflation in any sort of way. Just give me what equivalent automation price would be, and do not convert it to a different currency like Great British Pounds. Don't do it. Because then I have to like figure out how much of a work have you done to the numbers here, and then like the conversion rates, all that kind of garbage. I don't want to have to deal with that. Just give me the straight up automation cost or a modified automation cost. Or if you build a car, like a few people have said that like it says it's 100,000, but realistically this thing will be 500,000. That, I love your attention to detail. I will actually give you props, and it will come into the je ne sais quoi factor. I do appreciate that. But don't convert it to British pounds. Gosh, I ruined that pun. Oh, is that meant to be a pun, was it? R32 here, I mean, I do like Skylines, but I just get sick of hearing about them sometimes. But what about a Skyline, people? What? I mean, I'm probably never going to own a Skyline. I almost bought an R33 when I was younger because it was cheap. It was like $8,000. Skylines here in Australia were not that rare. It's just, unfortunately, due to what's happened in America and coronavirus and all that sort of stuff, they got more expensive here in Australia. So along with Supras. I could have bought a Supra a couple of years ago for $4 grand. Automatic, naturally aspirated, but I could have bought it. Roadworthy, all that sort of stuff. And I didn't. And now I'm kicking myself because, oh my god, we've taken on American prices. Anyway, next car is... okay. This one needs to go to a Ransuka. Do I have Spa. There we go, Kia Spa. Where is... There it is. Well, apparently one normal R34 costs 500k here in England. Oh my god, that is exceptional. So, you know kit cars? The kit cars are like the Lotus 7, the AC Cobra, the GT40 kit cars, all that sort of stuff. How long do you think it's going to be until there's a kit car of the R34 Skyline? Like, oh my god. Sometimes I miss my Evo, but that thing guzzled the gas and maintenance costs were through the roof. I do love the Evo a lot. Evo is one of the JDM cars which is like high up on the list of cars that I wish I could own. But currently from YouTube I'm only making, what is it, like $35 to $45 a month. So I'm not a big money maker. 6 years at most. Until the kit car comes out. Probably already exists somewhere. I know that B is for Build. Not a big fan of his. Very dull kind of YouTuber in my opinion. But he did a interesting build. Oxymoronically. Here in Canada you can buy an FC RX-7 for like $8 grand. Oh, nice. Maybe I should get my Canadian dual citizenship and actually just move over there. Dull off the line, not the fastest car, good brakes. Did I see a spark just then? What was that? This feels weird. It's an unusual vehicle, it doesn't feel right. Is this meant to be a communist car or something? Like, what is this? It's very stable. Like, we're not going very fast, I will admit. But to be able to go through Eau Rouge like that, is that what this is called? Is that called Eau Rouge? I believe it is. That is impressive. Like that will trip up any car that is not really well set up. So well done there. You like the sound of this car, really? Just sounds fart cannony. My mum used to own a first-gen Mazda MX-5 with the pop-up headlights from the 90s. It was, it always had the boot flooded with water. Oh dear. Anyway. Okay, I probably should have extracted a little bit more from the brakes there. Considering this vehicle should be quite light. Actually, how much does this vehicle weigh? This vehicle weighs 1,100 kilos. It feels like it should be lighter than that. Car looks very basic. It is very basic. So, oh god, sorry about the yawns, but it is getting relatively late and my sleeping pattern is all over kind of the shop at the moment. It's a normal sleeping pattern. I'm like, what's wrong with me? This car, I'm judging pretty much primarily on its handling alone. Because it's kind of like the cliche of the looks only a mother can love, sort of thing. Oh, too much brake force on the front. So, if you had stronger rear brakes compared to your front, that probably would have been a little bit better. What are actually the brakes? Let's go have a quick look here. On the fronts, we have big, massive 4-piston brakes. And on the rear, we have two-piston, smaller discs, I think. So, what that's meaning is when you're going into a corner and you've braked a little bit too late, or if you haven't braked yourself, or if you're just trying to trail brake, what that's going to do is your front tires are going to get more brake pressure than your rear tires, meaning your front tires are going to then, because they're also getting like angular, meaning they're more prone to lockups. So they're going to lock up quite easily and cause skidding, all that sort of stuff. ABS is not going to be able to fix that. Your rear tires, on the other hand, are not that powerful, meaning you're not going to get like a really good shift in weight, all that sort of stuff. You want a much more rear bias thing for a track sort of car. So, unfortunately, not the greatest car in the world. I suppose this is just a tribute. Yeah. Some corners it's not particularly happy. Generally, yeah, you don't want too high a brake force on a mid-engine or rear-engine car. That was weird. Why did it get understeer just then? Because it doesn't get understeer a lot of the times. Only just some of the times. Alright, let's go through... I think Radion is the next high-speed corner. See how it does there. Reminds me of a train? Okay. I feel popped in and say, hey, Fanny Fax Bear. How's it going, bruv? And, oh, I'm only going 200 kilometers an hour. I should not be understeering there. Like, I was right at the limit. If that corner was any tighter... Oh, damn. I feel that the ABS is trying to overcompensate for the fact that your brakes are hideously unbalanced. But you know what? It actually handles quite nicely. Looks like it has a lot of drag for some reason. No, it's just a very slow car. It's only got like a overhead valve 4-cylinder engine. That was my bad. Yeah, okay, so if it's a shorter distance, it doesn't build up the sort of speed, so your brakes are fine. But if you're going at speed, the brakes just start to not cut muster, unfortunately. So yeah, this is actually a pretty... Like, if you're a beginner in automation, this is a fantastic car. If you're moderately experienced, this is a pretty good car. If you're quite experienced, you're probably at that precipice where you are looking at the graphs, you're tuning by graphs and by feel, but you maybe don't know exactly what it is that you need to do. And for this car, what you need is more front aero and less front brake and more rear brake. Is there actually... Oh, this is old automation. This is not new automation. Yeah, unfortunately, you have, I believe, no front aero. Yeah. So, I think if you put like a little bit of front aero. Now, if you're using old automation like this car was built in, only wings generate downforce. Under trays, lips, spoilers do not add downforce. So yeah, you're currently making no front downforce of this thing. I thought I might have felt it, but I wasn't quite sure because it's still actually handled quite nicely. I'm actually really surprised at how well you've done at making this thing handle without any front aero. So good job. You know what, have you done something funky? No. Okay. So yeah, I do like this handling quite a bit for what it is. I'm not going to give it a full fill score because I don't think a full fill score is going to work on a car like this. If you're a beginner, like you're within your first like 20 hours, which this design looks like it's within the first 20 hours, I'm going to give you like an 8. Handling is really very good for a beginner. If you're a lot more experienced, like say mid-range sort of thing, say you've got 100 or 200 hours in this sort of thing, I'm going to give you like a 6.5 to a 7 sort of score. But if you're really experienced, then you're getting like a 5 because you haven't put in effort. But a lot of the stuff I do like about this sort of thing. You've not done anything really to the body that makes it look ugly, aside from the side vent, which does not match the rest of the design of the car at all. And aqueducts are back to front. It's a little bit basic. I went over how to make it better, in my opinion, earlier, talking about air in and out and all that sort of stuff. Interesting choice of engine. Yeah, the engine is... I mean, they must have been thinking of something when they chose this as the engine to use. I don't know what they were thinking of, but they must have been thinking of something. It really looks like a surprise spider. Yeah, it does a little bit like a... sort of spider. Reminds you a bit of the MC-12? I don't know. I wouldn't say that, no. I'm still working on my Le Mans hypercar. It's been a pain in the ass to design. Yeah, if you want to go like full hardcore, which you don't have to do, it becomes really time consuming and really difficult to figure out what to do. So I understand that. Welcome Matteo Sacco. God, I love your name for some reason. It's just so weird. Then we have the BR type. Here we go. This one is by Stefan P. This is a 2022 car. Thank you for this. $39,900. This is a lightweight rear-wheel drive sports car with a sting in its tail. So let's go over the details. Hold on. If this is meant to be something that could be used on track, we'll go have a look at it on the track. What do we have here? We have super light wheels from the 80s and before. We have 3-piston on the front, double wishbone, a big 4-cylinder turbo engine coming out to the back, single piston, smaller discs. Okay, let's see how this one goes. What size are the rear tires on the car? They look big. For this car? They're fairly bigs. Fairly bigs? They're fairly big. I don't know what size they are though. I'd have to like measure it somehow, but like BeamNG doesn't have that sort of stuff readily available for me. I have to dig into the code a little bit. I just can't be bothered doing that. I know how to do it. It's not that hard. It's just time consuming. Too much brake force on the front. Not enough to the rear. Like getting the same sort of issue. It's a little bit different because it is a front engine car. But I can compensate with good driving. I think the steering wheel is a little too big. Oh, you know what? The seats are too low. So as I say, a lot of the time we did a bit of a chat about this on the Discord once. The shoulder, not of the driver, but like the shoulder of the seat should just be at the windowsill sort of line. So just a little bit above, and then there's the sill line. So like where the shoulder curvature ends is where the windowsill line should be. So the seats are too low. Previous one? I don't know. It's already gone, bro. Oh, it doesn't like poo on. Yep, no. That's unfortunate. So, that is... Do we have all-wheel drive? No, we don't. So the understeer is just unfortunate. Let's see if we can't learn the handling characteristics of the car. So brake in a straight line. Brakes are no good. Brakes are no good. That should have braked so much quicker than that. The handling itself sans the braking issues. Not that bad. But that's a good braking point for a faster car. How are the brakes so weak? I shouldn't be understeering at this speed. Oh, you know what? Let's turn ESC off. See if that allows us to be a little bit more lively. What causes understeer? Lots of different things. So, let me just try a little bit more of this car. It should not be understeering through this corner unless this is not actually a high-end sports sort of GT, maybe race car sort of thing. My God, that braking distance. I started braking, I was like, oh, whoops, I accidentally braked like twice the distance I should have. Turns out, it still wasn't enough of a braking distance. That is, not good handling. So, let's go a little bit into the theory of understeer. If you have a stiffer front suspension, when you go around a corner, the front suspension is going to want to lift with the body roll. What that'll do is make the car want to stay flat, but you'll have less traction on the front. What that'll do then is allow the rear wheels to travel more, so then they'll have more traction. So, if you want more traction in the rear for, say, like a drag car, you'll have very stiff front suspension and quite moderate or soft suspension in the rear. You don't want to go too soft. That's an over-exaggeration, but that also does the same sort of thing. Then if you want more traction on the front, a stiffer rear suspension will do exactly the same thing, but in reverse. It'll want to stay, go with the body roll of the car, which will mean, like, when the wheel lifts up, the car's going to want to go like, oh, but I'm not putting any weight here. I could, like, lower the gravity back down. It doesn't work exactly pushing the car down, but it helps a lot by adding traction to the other wheels. Sway bars are the big one that does that as well. But it doesn't have a whole lot of effect from automation to BeamNG for some reason. But stiffer suspension will give the other one different things. But giving too stiff a rear suspension is what drift cars do, and that causes rear to drift. So you do have to come up with a good balance. Now, understeer could be having like not wide enough front tires, cross plies, or a hard compound of tire will cause understeer. Even a well-balanced car can still suffer from understeer if it's got bad tire compounds, all that sort of stuff. What else causes understeer? Engine being too far forward, or too much weight being too far forward. Then also the brake thing that I just talked about. If your brakes are no good, and then you're trying to trail brake into a corner because you've not braked good enough, or you've just out-braked yourself, which happens. Having too much front brake force bias will cause the wheels to lose what little traction they did have, as opposed to the rear pulling its weight, per se. So, that's a crash cause. If you want to know how to tune a car, like by feel, go watch my video on Fullman 86 suspensions all over your face. It's a stupid name. I kind of want to change it now because I've said it way too many times and the joke has grown old. But yeah, go check that out. That's a very rough estimate way of tuning a car. Some of it's a little bit out of date now, so I should probably do a new version of it. Regret causes understeer? Yes, it can. Is there a front wing or just a diffuser and a big wing? So, this is old automation as well. I do see a canard here creating a little bit of a winglet. I'm not seeing other wings. What I am seeing, however, is a lip. New automation. This lip down here would be creating downforce in BeamNG. But this is old automation, so that's only creating downforce in automation, not in BeamNG. So the canards are the only thing creating front aerodynamics. Yeah, also the other thing is an unbalanced aero will cause understeer. If you're having understeer at... if you have no understeer at moderate speeds, and then understeer at high speeds, that means you need more front aero. And if you're then getting too oversteery and squirrely at high speeds, that means you have too much front aero compared to the rear. So, I don't know. I should make videos on it again. Based off what Phil said for the drag car thing, it does Lamau. What? Huh? Anyway, the thing you need to understand about the sliders in BeamNG is that the numbers camber, caster, toe mean absolutely nothing at all. There is no caster or toe in automation. You need to use the geometry debug for to see the actual value. Yes, correct. But there is no... Oh, the sliders in BeamNG. Oh, okay. Wait, there's no... Oh, this is old automation, so it doesn't have it. I don't think there is a caster slider. Or am I wrong? 10% toe in on a car might be... Yeah. I don't understand why they've got it... Like, okay, so I do kind of understand why they don't have actual degrees on the thing. But generally just tune it until it feels good, if you know what you're doing. Anyway, this car... I feel compelled to give this a full fill score, so let's go ahead and do that. So, styling. The car's mother would say that this is a car that they think is handsome. So let's go ahead, give that a 3. It's just a little too flat, too two-dimensional. You've done some good things, as I said, but it is just, unfortunately, way too flat. Also, is that chrome? I don't think chrome really fits this sort of design, sitting right next to carbon fiber. Like, damn, bruh. Damn. So moving on. Acceleration. It felt okay, so we'll give that a 6. I think. Was it better than what I thought? Hold on. Okay, that was too slow. Not the fastest accelerating car, so I think... Oh, okay. 6 will do. Handling. It's kind of like a 6 again. It's not bad. It's on the good side of mediocre. Fun factor. Yeah, it feels okay. Cool factor. I'm feeling that a lot of people are going to think that it's like an uncool car. A lot of kids may look at that car and go, oh, that's cool. So, I mean, it looks the part to be a part of the cool factor. Trackability, 4. It's not very good on the track. Now, we'll leave it at a 4. We won't give it a 3. Features. I'm assuming this thing would have probably decent features at 39,000. Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe it's not the most expensive car. So features are probably going to be fairly moderate. You've not really given me much to go on by bottling, so I'm just going to have to assume that this thing would have okay sort of stuff. So we'll give it like a 6. $39,000. Say you're getting up to like good Volkswagen Golf sort of prices, and they have pretty good kit in them. Comfort. It didn't look like the most comfortable, but it doesn't look uncomfortable. What sort of seats do we have? Those are very thin seats, next to no give in them. So that comfort is going to probably be like a 4. That looks very uncomfortable. Quality. Also, what's a tire wall thickness? Tire wall thickness isn't so bad. Quality. What do we got here? Individual throttle bodies, turbo. It's probably going to be a little bit unreliable. It looks like it's probably more likely to be a European car, and European cars are not known for their quality anymore. They used to be, but now they're known for being like tricky and annoying and deliberately obstinate. So, 6. The feel of the materials are probably not going to be too bad because it's German. Sorry, European probably. Practicality. It's only a 2-seater. It is a hatchback, but it's small, easy to park. So, like a 4. Kind of want to give it a 3 or a 3.5, but we'll just go with 4 for now. Value. I don't feel like you're getting a lot for $39,000. So that's only going to be like a... I feel like it's going to be a 4. I feel like the other cars in its price category are going to outmatch it, like the GTI. Ongoing... Actually, hold on. How much does a BRZ cost? Oops, not RRO. RRP. $38,000. Yeah, I feel that those are better, so your value is going to be worse than that. Ongoing costs. I feel like it's not going to be so bad, but it's also not going to be great. Like, your fuel efficiency is probably fine, so your ongoing costs are probably going to be somewhere around like a 6. You have to do a repair on this thing, and it's going to cost you all your money. JB admitting there was none. Would I buy it? Kind of like a 5. Yeah, I think I could tune that thing to be better if I was to own it myself. The je ne sais quoi factor. No, I feel it's fairly representative. And realism. 7. It is actually, like, apart from the design and the lack of interior, all that sort of stuff, I feel that it deserves some realism score there, because it's not bonkers, it's not berserk, it's not going out of its way to be completely out of this world. It's got, like, good manifold choice, all that sort of stuff, apart from the individual throttle bodies, which you'd see on more like an upper-end BMW. It's just pretty good car. What sort of tires do we have in there? If we have semi-slicks, it's gonna lose a point. Okay, it's got semi-slicks on it, so it loses a point. 6 on realism. A score of 71. You would probably want a lot more from a car of this category in year. Yeah, that would be a possibility. What are we talking about? Like the car from Malcolm? What? Anyway, can't imagine this car having that much trunk space. Driver's seat ends here. That means from here backwards, it's all trunk space. It's front engine. So, a lot of trunk space. Like, it slopes, so you can't fit, like, really big things in there, but you can fit a lot of things in there. So, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. So, that is that. A score of 71. Next car. This song reminds me of a Naruto song. The Fisher Hammerhead. Let's go take that to an American track. Like... Which one of the many American tracks do we go to? I'm thinking... I want to take it around a racetrack. So we're going to take it to the racetrack at West Coast. 10% on the car might be 1 degree. On the other hand, it might be 5 degrees. Yeah, automation. Cool. Automation exports don't have caster, but the stock BeamNG cars do. Cars from automation can export with caster. and 40 degrees of toe out. Also, rear tires can have caster. Some people don't understand how that works, but it is true that they can have caster. Caster is not how the tire acts under turning. Caster is just like the pivot point. So if you have toe on a rear tire with caster, that's how it works. It's the angle of the pivot point. Vroom vroom goes the big V8. All right, Broken Ursa's car. Oh, it's automatic. Disappoint. We're going to drive it with traction control to start with. See how it goes. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there on the crest. Oh, big lumbering into the corner there. Nah. Whoa, it wants to oversteer so badly. Oh, ESC is messing me up too much. This car looks like it's probably too much fun to have ESC on. Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god. This thing is very lively without ESC on. Good golly, Miss Molly. Ah! Okay, around we go. Nope! Oh, god damn it. Looks like a heavy boy. It does feel heavy. You know what? It weighs... Oh! 1,900 kilos. Oh my god. This is meant to compete with a Mustang of some sort, I believe. Does it have it in there? Hold on. Broken Ursa car. The Ford Shelby GT350. What's that in real numbers? That's 1,700 kilos. So this is 200 kilograms more. It's not a huge disparity, but that is a lot. What's that in funny numbers? That's a bird if I ever seen one. It does tend to want to like go hard to starboard when trying to turn. Ah! And then that very powerful snap oversteer. What does that say on the side of the car? FSA. Okay then. Fucking sackballs. A cruise ship, more like. Yeah, it's like, let's make ourselves a really cool cruise missile of a car. And like, a cruise ship of a car? Okay. And then they get the car and they're like, wait, what? Why is this car terrible? And like, well, you wanted it to be like a cruise ship. No, I said a cruise missile! Brakes are not good! You know what it is? It might be that the brakes are not that bad. It's just the fact that this thing is so much faster than what I expected to be. Because if we're not in a straight line, this car sucks. Oh my god. The traction is terrible. Have we got like hard long lights on? What are these tires? I need to check that out. What do we got on here? They are sports tires. How wide are they? They're actually very wide. Damn, bro. Wait. Oh, for a second there, I saw that like silvery line. I thought that was showing me that it was all-wheel drive for a second. And I was like, what? That's not right. I see Pontiac Trans Am in the front and headlights. Yeah, I do. I see that as well. That's actually a yacht. Yeah. But not like what American state yachts are. Like a yacht. The one with like the big sail and mast. Sorry, not mask. Yeah, brakes are underperforming. God damn it. This thing really kicks out. Do you have a dual clutch transmission? Is that what you got on this thing? Because it feels way too kicky. Yeah, so it's a dual clutch. I'm gonna be honest. I feel in this exact car. Oh, god damn, bro. Come on. No, that's way too far to rewind. I just want to go back to that chicane. Is this... Oh, sorry. I feel that the DCT is doing this car a disservice. What's going on? Oh, have we... Okay. accidentally went into slow motion. This is what happens when you put 560 horsepower through a 2-ton car. Yeah, but you can make a 2-ton car with that much horsepower going through 2 wheels handle better than this. Wait a minute. Is it just me, or is the quality stuck at 720p? This isn't actually a full 1080 because OBS was telling me to not do that. Let's try going full sweat mode here. I feel that there's too much front traction. What you could have done is probably stiffened up the front suspension, which would give us the rear grip we need for accelerating out of corners and stuff like that, but also helped with the oversteer sort of main problem we have. How fast were we just going then? That was way too much of a braking zone. So for us to fail braking at that point means that the car, god damn it, the car would have had to have been going like 350 kilometers an hour. Otherwise the brakes suck. Whoa. Okay, there we go. All right. What sort of speeds do we reach with this way overpowered car? We are actually going very fast. 230, 250 kilometers an hour, that is. Okay, we're not going 300. Braking point should be about here. Yeah, the brakes suck. What have you done? How are they this bad? What have we got on as the brakes, by the way? 6 pistons on the front? Is that a single piston on the rear? ABS is probably having an absolute heart attack. What are we? Yeah, Control W. Engine. Electronic stability control, empty. All right. Ground killer to be okay. I'll read that in a minute. All right, let's get around here safely. All right. Go down a little bit further. Then we're gonna try. What? Hold on. It pulled to one side under brake. That was strange. I was going in a straight line, I thought. This thing just wants to oversteer way too much. Also, your brakes are a bit weak. I should be able to lock up. I should be locked up already. How is it pulling to one side? Am I putting steering input in? Am I doing something wrong? It shouldn't be locking up on one side more than the other. Your brakes are also like way too weak. They should be stronger than this. I don't know what you've done. At about 200, we'll do that again. So we're going straight and brake. Okay, yeah. Your front brakes are too powerful. Sorry. Make your front brakes more powerful. Make your rear brakes a lot more powerful. And I'm assuming you're going to want a full fill score. Bad at converting 350 kilometers an hour. What is this? Is that the top speed? Okay, then. Officially, this thing is limited to 180 miles per hour, but it can hit 220. That's unlikely to happen. 220 miles per hour? Not in a body shaped like this. I want beam tires. They don't flat spot. Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, you should be able to lock up your brakes at pretty much any speed, unless you've got like a downforce monster, which this is not. Well, my dad's trailer sat for so long, the tires help their pressure. Sorry. My dad's trailer sat for so long, the tires help their pressure, but they flat spotted. I think I know what you're trying to say, but anyway. Yes, full score? Okay, let's give this thing a full score. What's the price again for this car? $61,400. You probably want a little bit more than that. Styling. Now, the front looks like a good first step towards the sort of design you want, but there's a lot kind of just not quite here. I feel that like this is slanted down on an angle, but it doesn't really fit the body shape. Something's not quite right there. Headlights look a bit weird, but I think that's just more of a limitation of automation. Once again, these things look way too flat. I might rework these vents and stuff, because every time somebody uses them, I look at them and go, they just look flat and weird. The hood looks okay. I like that. Cool little vents on the back as well. The rear looks considerably better than the front, in my opinion. He's got the Hank Hill cheeks. If you don't know what I mean, let's get a picture of Hank Hill up. Yeah. This line under the cheeks, for some reason, that's what that reminds me of. Do you guys see that? Is it just me? Am I just going a little bit insane? The price point is actually comparable to the Mustang GT 350 or the Hellcat. I feel that the Mustang GT is just a better car. Propane and propane accessories. Hold on. God damn it, Bobby. Got propane and propane accessories. My voice is not doing it today. It just doesn't want to do it. Anyway, styling. I like the back end. The side looks kind of weird. Like there's something going on there that I don't fully understand. It looks like it's stretched. Weird. Looks very peculiar. Did you move the front glass really far forward? Doesn't look right. Anyway, styling. I want to give it a 6.5, but we'll go with 7. Acceleration. It's hard to accelerate in, but it is quite fast, so we'll give that a 7. Handling, we'll give that a 4. Fun factor, 10. Cool factor, 8, 7. Trackability, 3. Because at least you can squirt down the main straight with traction aids on, and then like everywhere else it just sucks ass. Features. What do we got in here? We have a screen, we have temperature gauges. Do any of these work? Not by the looks of it. No steering wheel animation, nothing there. Cool drivey thingy. Do we have flappy paddles? We do have flappy paddles. I'm gonna give it like a 7. It's probably pretty high, probably not the highest, but probably pretty high. Comfort. I mean, what's it like? It's a little bit wallowy, but not too wallowy. It feels like it snaps back into place. Feels like it would probably do with softer dampeners from that. The lunge isn't too bad. I feel like the dampeners are off for some reason. The seats themselves are quite cushy. They're quite nice. So comfort's going to be fairly high. We'll give that maybe like an 8. It's like a nice sound, but not too loud as well. It looks like it'd be quite comfortable. How is the legroom and everything in here? That looks fairly good. The rear looks decent. It feels like it could have a little bit more for the rear, but nobody really sits in the rear of these sorts of cars very often anyway. Quality. I mean, it's American, so it's not going to be the highest quality. The feel of materials are not going to be great, but it's going to be fairly robust as a car. So we'll give that a 7. Practicality. I mean, it can only fit 4, not 5 or 7 like an SUV. It's got 2 doors, so that makes it a little less practical. The boot looks actually like it's fairly sizable. Do we have a boot liner? We do have a boot liner. Nice. So a fairly big boot in there. I feel like it's not the most practical car. Parking is not going to be the easiest, but it's also not going to be the hardest. Going down narrow alleys, trying to squeeze between cars like a small car is going to be better. So give that like a 6. Value. That is a lot of money for a car which kind of is a little bit of a failure in terms of its handling and everything. Now, I know that American cars don't want handling, but we are going for a generalized comparison of other cars in which you can get in these sorts of price brackets. So value is going to be somewhere like a 6. Lots of power, but that's about it. Ongoing costs. There's no turbos or anything on it. What sort of engine do we have? We have a not simplistic engine with headers on there. So those headers would probably most likely crack after a certain amount of time with a lot of heat going through them if you're doing any sort of heavy work or drag racing, anything like that. So, ongoing costs. Oh, the fuel usage is probably going to be through the roof, so we'll give that like a 5. It's not going to be great to run. Tires are going to get worn out relatively quickly with weight and all that sort of stuff. But the parts aren't going to be particularly expensive. It's American. JBM editing, I don't believe I saw any. Would I buy it? I would, but the price would never come down enough for me, so I'm going to give it a 5. The je ne sais quoi. I feel there's a little bit of je ne sais quoi here. Realism. I want to give it a 7 or an 8. But I think we're going to go 7 because we give you the benefit of the doubt on the other ones. So, a total fill score of 92. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's actually a decent score. Bye, Phil. Gotta go. See you next time. Okay, see you, lover? See you later, FW Stance. What is happening to my brain? Anyway, next car. We have... the J-Spec car. So let's take that to Nippon. 92 is pretty good? Yeah, 92 is pretty decent. What's happening? There we go. All right. That was weird. J-Spec. Here it is by Count Cheese. This is 1994 and it's $45,000. $45,600. My brain is failing me hard. A Japanese market orientated sports trim made by a German brand. All right. This is looking like a little bit of a cross between an Aston Martin almost and that BMW V12 that Richard Hammond once had for a video for an episode of Top Gear, crossed with a Toyota Supra. 92 is bloody decent. It's pretty good. I always love the fact that Hiroshi Raceway has main USA license plates. What? Oh, okay. I don't entirely understand what it is you're trying to say there. Anyway, looks like it is built for drifting. It does look a little bit like they've rice-spec'd it in the, sex-spec'd it, or Bozoku did a little bit in like the 2000s. Okay, it's not super duper lively. We've got traction control on still, so we'll leave that for now. I doubt that a car of this age would have had ESC on it. What year was it again? I've forgotten. Oh, understeer. It is very understeer, which is very much for a normal sort of car. 94. It would not have had ESC. It might have had traction control, but it mostly would have just had ABS at like the common sort of thing. Oops, I braked way too late. But the brakes did an okay job. What is the driveline here? We have all-wheel drive. Okay. That would explain why it's a little bit dull, because it's got a lot more front-biased weight. It doesn't like to turn. It likes to be very heavy and understeery. Though then again, you should keep in mind that cars back in the day were a lot lighter because there was a lot less safety sort of stuff. Comfort was not as refined. What is the weight of this car? 1,400 kilos? That sounds about right. Damn, bro. This thing is not great on the turn-in. What sort of tires do we have here? We have... sports tires. Okay. Wait, George Raceway has main license. You guys aren't clarifying for me. Misa no understando what you say, oh. Too much brake force on the front. But then again, if this is a road spec, you would generally have more brake bias on the front. If you're trying to go for a sports or a race car, you're going to be moving those brakes towards the rear the more race oriented you get. So just as a normal road car, you'll have the brakes in the front. What that'll allow you to do, kind of, is brake in an emergency. It won't help you so much with braking and swerving, but ABS does a very good job of that. So a normal road tune car will have a fairly front bias brake setup, because if you're in a straight line, front brakes being more powerful is the way to go, because you have a lot more traction moving to the front. Even in a mid-engine car, generally you are moving more weight to the front. You see some Noble on the rear? I mean, I kind of see a little bit of Noble. You know what? I want to bring up that car, the BMW. God damn it, Bobby! BMW V12 Coupe. Yeah, this one. From the back end, it's reminding me of this. So what's that called? 850i? Okay. BMW 850 rear. Yeah, just like the broadness of it and the flat top of the boot, I feel, and the like fairly square lights. That's kind of what I was getting as one of the influences on the rear is what that was making me feel. Oh, it's manual as well, okay. Well, that took longer than expected. What did, Crownless? Gotta go now. Oh, we've got a switching of the guard. Now enjoy my weird tiny brake race car. Oh, is yours coming up soon, is it? Okay then. So I like this car. Is it a track car? No. No, it is not. So let's take this around. Let's go home. And try off-road. It's also using 1.1 bar of boost. That is not indicative of the time period. A lot of the times these turbos were what we'll call low blow turbos or low pressure turbos. Oh, you know what? On the road, this actually feels a lot more lively. On a racetrack, it feels very numb and understeery. But on the road, feels a lot more fun. Feels like I can actually do fun things here. All right, let's go the full old race circuit, see how this goes. Oh, dear me. Oh, so yawning. God damn. Sorry if I'm making that contagious and making you guys yawn. But it is getting late for me. It is 1:21 a.m. And I've been going to sleep. Oh, I've been trying to push it at about like 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 p.m. It's so weird. Like, my sleep schedule was go to sleep at 10 p.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. Like in the morning and sleep through the middle of the day. It was so weird. And then suddenly it just somehow, at some point, 180'd. And now it's like a 12 hours offset of my sleep pattern. It's so freaking weird. And it's stuck this time. This time I just can't push my sleeping pattern at all. If I owned this car, I would imagine it being a weekend car. I feel dailying this thing would be rather fun. Because it's not like too fast. The braking is fairly decent. It feels like you can pull up in an okay amount of time. Turn in is nice enough. A little bit dull. It feels just a little bit chuckable, even though it could be maybe tuned to be a little bit more chuckable. That's the first time I've actually tried to push too hard. This is, as a road car, if you're not looking for the most sportiest car in the world, this is really nice. I think you try it out yourself. It's on the Reddit. Try it on a track. Feel how not racy it feels. And then put it on a road like this. And then suddenly feel how it transforms into a much more lively car. These past few days, I have been sleeping at 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. That's 4 hours of sleep. Damn. Oh, then sleep till midnight. Okay, fair enough. Way Vixen, welcome. Have been watching the stream, but mobile doesn't allow for me to... Oh, weird. It also looks pretty nice. I mean, I do like the design of this a lot. A little too sex spec for me. A little too Bosuzoku sort of thing, but I still do like it a lot. I see R32 on the front fenders. Yeah, I do. I see that. I see that, yeah. A little bit of 180 coming around to the glass here at the back a little bit if you look at it from the right angle. Something's weird though. Anyway, I do like this. Let's go ahead and stream scoring, because I'm assuming they want a full score because they've got all of the numbers here. 1994, $45,600. That's actually a pretty good price for something like this. Styling. Relatively, actually, I think this one's going to be fairly... You know what, it's not like a supercar. It's only partially relative there. Acceleration. It doesn't feel the greatest, but it's on the good side of mediocre. Handling. You know what? We'll give that an 8. It feels 9. It feels really good. Fun factor. 9. Cool factor. I don't know. JDM is very cool, so I'll give that like an 8. Like, a lot of kids aren't going to know what it is, but a lot of people are going to know what it is. And it's probably got like a massive resale on these sorts of cars. Oh, wait, no, this is not JDM. This is German. Cool factor. 6. Trackability. You know what, actually, no, we'll give that a 7. Trackability. Like a 4? It feels a lot worse on a track. Features. I'm assuming for 94, they're not going to be particularly great, especially not being a very expensive car either. Hold on, what price did they sell this at? $45,600. This would not have done particularly well in Japan. We have a CD player, okay. And probably AC for this sort of price range. But nothing out of this world. So, do those gauges work? Hold on, let me check that. Nope, I can't even test it. Okay, so that'll be fine. Features. 5? 4. We're not into the new technology, but at least there's probably some workarounds for certain sorts of things. Comfort. It looked like it was okay, actually. The seats themselves are fairly comfortable. The rear looks fairly comfortable. Wow, they have comprehensively covered a lot of the interior. I do like it. Comfort is probably going to be somewhere around like, I don't know, a 7. It looks fairly comfortable. Quality, it's German. So it's probably not the greatest. It's also all-wheel drive, and those tend to wear out after a while, especially if it's a German all-wheel drive system. Looking at you, Audi. A turbocharged engine from that sort of time period. They're not the greatest, but they're also fairly robust. The German feel and quality is going to be fairly good, so we'll give that like a 7. It's an older car. I don't know. We'll go with a 7 on that one. Practicality. It's only a 2-door, but it does fit 5 people, even if you are a little bit cramped in the rear. The boot starts here and goes all the way out to the back. That's fairly decent. It's a little bit big, so parking in car parks is going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, especially in Japan. So that's not going to be particularly great. So practicality, we'll give that like a 6. Especially considering that it's got all-wheel drive system, so it can be driven in the snow quite easily, all that sort of stuff. Rain's a little bit safer and things like that. Not so much for off-road, though, especially with those tires. Value. What was it again? $45,000. That's a lot of money back in the day for a mid-range car. But I think it's probably not going to be out of this world, so we'll give that like a 7, considering that the resale on these, like on the used market, is probably not going to be particularly great because it's a German car, not a JDM car. Even if it's like meant for the JDM market and you then technically call it a JDM, it's actually a German car. Ongoing costs, they're not going to be great. We're going to give that like a 5. Like the fuel usage is not going to be much, but everything else is going to be particularly unpleasant. Everything for the fill rating will be there. And what? How do we submit cars? There's a link to the Reddit in the description. Can you build a Porsche? I built a few Porsche-like cars in the past. 1994, this would be a bit expensive for Japan. Well, we're not taking inflation into account. We're just going with the flatline cost. Reddit or Discord? Reddit. Yeah, Reddit. Then everything will be... The fill rating will be there and the rules. Okay, anyway. J-Beam editing. There was none, I don't believe. Would I buy it? Yeah, I mean, it is actually pretty nice on the road. The je ne sais quoi. I feel that is really high. Like an 8? Realism. 7. I feel that price is a little too much. Was there anything else as to why I didn't think the realism was great? Yeah, like individual throttle bodies in the 90s? That would be quite uncommon. 4 valves per cylinder going through an overhead cam, that is quite rare. As far as I'm aware, only one company has done 4 valves per cylinder with a single camshaft. Yeah. All-wheel drive in the 90s? Quite rare, but it still did exist. Volvo did it. Audi did it. For normal road cars. I don't think anybody else did. Anyway. So, a score of 98. That is actually really goddamn high. I feel that, like, 85 is kind of like the tipping point. If you get over 85, that's a really good score. If you get over 100, you've done a really good job of, like, min-maxing your score. But this is an older car, so, like, getting really high scores would have been really hard. Let's move on to the next car. The Lota Galanta... whatever. The Lota. Okay. By Agnosion, who I did see in the chat, I believe. Thank you for the car. This is a 2019 car, $105,000. Remove the boring, 570 horsepower. I mean, honestly, that is so weak. Turbo V8 for a more thrilling NA V10 producing 690 horsepower. Only 2,100 of these cars will be made. From 2019. V10s were going out of popularity at the time because Formula One had moved away from them. The reason why V10s gained a lot of popularity in the 2000s was because it was the Formula One engine. And now V6 is the Formula One engine. So V6s are becoming into popularity. Even if people would still like V10s, it's what car companies are using because they can get away with saying, oh, it's like a Formula One car. Whatever they do to save a buck, pretty much. V12s are not very popular much recently either. Let's turn the ESC off and see how it handles. Ah, okay. Is this all-wheel drive? Yeah, I thought so. I was expecting this thing to oversteer because it started to oversteer really badly. And then when I started to put the power on, the thing started to understeer and go directly forward sort of thing and not like control the oversteer. So a bit surprising. Braking point should be about here. Brakes are no good. Brakes are atrocious. That was not great braking. Were we going like really fast? I don't think we were. I think we were going like good, but not like really fast. Now that is not a great corner. That is a tricky corner at the best of times. So I don't know. We have not the widest tires. What do we have? We have sports tires. They're very narrow, so that might be causing us a bit of understeer. What 2,100 kilos. Oh my god. That's 40 like 40, I don't know, roughly 4,600 pounds, I think. My brain isn't working enough for me to be able to do quick math. That is way too heavy for way too narrow tires, I feel. Also, V6 turbos tend to have less emissions as well. I mean, they're moving less friction around, so that would make sense, yes. Mix between Audi and... yeah, I kind of see that. I get that. These brakes suck. Oh my god, bro. Jesus Christ, always wanted a V12 car, something I've never done. I almost bought a Jaguar back in the day. What sort of brakes do we have here? Like, why is this so bad? We have big carbon ceramic 6 pistons on the front and 2 piston carbon ceramics on the rear. I don't understand why it's so bad. Which one was that orange-blue car? What? What are you talking about? Hope your stream doesn't crash again, lol. Welcome, Mac, and no, I haven't gotten the warning from the my ISP that my internet is going down this week again. It seems that they've finally finished that work that they've been doing for the last couple of months. Jesus Christ. Alright, so once you get past the bad brakes, the car also still understeers way too much. So it's getting like all-wheel understeer. So it's not like the car weighs too much for too narrow tires. Either give it more power with wider tires, or let's see how it does with Sports ESC. And see if this like brings it in line a little bit more with a little bit of stability control and stuff. So brake, turn in. Oh, okay. Sports stability control makes this thing feel a lot better though. Still the brakes suck. Then it's trying way too hard to bring us under control. Come on. So ESC is not the be-all and end-all, and it still can't overcome the fact that there's just not enough traction from these tires. Don't give them semi-slicks. Semi-slicks are very rare because they don't get very much mileage before they become illegal on the roads because they lose their little bit of tire tread that they have. Anyway. I think that's enough for that car. God, the brakes suck so bad. Those are probably the worst brakes of the stream so far. Design's not so bad. Let's start with styling, because you've got all the numbers written down there. Styling, it's a little bit mixed matched. Like, you've got the leading lines, as I said, all that sort of stuff. A little too, like, it's a fairly rounded sort of body, but then, like, very sharp edges onto the grille. The rear end is decent, but a little too bland, and you've got that open gap there. The rest of it, not so bad. So, let's give that a styling score of, like, 6. 5. Acceleration, fairly good. We'll give that a 7. Handling, 4. It's just on the not so good side of mid. Fun factor. I mean, it can get quite lively if you know how to drive it hard enough. So that's a 6. Cool factor. I mean, it's a V10, naturally aspirated. It's going to be fairly cool. So we'll give it that. But it's not cool enough to overcome the fact that the car has fatal handling flaws. Trackability, 4. Like, it's got good brakes. We've got good brake disc and compound, but the brakes themselves suck. So, you know what? Nah, that's a 3. It's barely even a pointed squirt. Features. I'm assuming, being what looks to be a German sort of car. It's got all of the rear screens and all that sort of stuff. At $105,000, this thing is probably decked to the teeth with almost everything. So we'll just give that a 10. Comfort. Comfortable seats. Let's see how it goes around a few corners. It's a little too wallowy, but at least it's not rigid, stiff suspension. So we'll give that comfort like an 8. An 8. There we go. Quality. It's a high-revving V10 engine, so it's not going to... It's probably going to need good servicing, all that sort of stuff. Probably direct injection for the time period, and those are turning out to be worse than what people were hoping. So that's going to get you... Like, it's probably got good feel. We'll give that about a 7. Practicality. It's not the biggest car, so that's all right. We've got, seating for 5? Yeah, that's just got the thing down. Fairly sizable back area. So we'll give that practicality somewhere like an 8. Fairly good, but it's not like a 7-seater SUV sort of thing. Also good for snow driving and all that sort of stuff. You know what, we'll give that a 9. Value. $7. Ongoing costs, 3, probably. J-beam editing, I don't believe there was any. Let's give a quick check. Yeah, no, not staring at anything. Would I buy it? The je ne sais quoi factor. No, I feel everything's fairly well represented. Realism. 8? Feels quite realistic. 9. It feels quite realistic. An 89 score. Pretty decent. That is above the 85 threshold I said. That I mentioned. Only thing valuable would have been the older S-Class, but if anything I broke, would be doomed. What? Oh, if anything broke, I would be doomed. Yeah, fair enough. The car you called a Soviet car because of it was underpowered. For some reason, brakes are a difficult thing to do. I keep meaning to make a video on it, and when I've gotten past all of the new things that we can do in automation with BeamNG, I will go over a brake tuning video, which actually might be this coming week. Who knows? Ah, the Track Walker V2. Oh, okay, it just doesn't have V2 written on there. I was wondering why I couldn't see it. I lols you. This is $101,000. Rival to the Jeep Trackhawk. Does a Jeep Trackhawk make you want to vomit? Is built to be fun first and last never. All right, let's go take this to somewhere like... I want to take it to Utah. There we go, Utah. Let's start on the campsite. How many cars do we have left? I think a few. I was listening to this like a podcast. Fair enough. Have I said hello to you yet, Shadow? If I've not, welcome, Shadow, to the stream. And thank you for being here all this time. I'll show you how many cars we have left. Any hour now. We have 2 cars left. This is actually just one that I made quickly. I pumped it through automation just so then it would build up all the file structures so I could re-import my old saves into BeamNG and automation. So that's why that car's there. I'll delete that soon. All right, let's try it with traction control. That's a lot of power. I feel that it's doing really well. Suspension is stiff but also soft. Like, look at that bounce. That is way too solid of a bounce. And then, like, the body roll side to side is atrocious. But then, like, lunge control is really good. So it doesn't lunge under braking much. Am I wrong? This car handles like garbage. Oh, no, it does lunge a lot. Okay. So, I feel that the dampeners should be a little bit stiffer and the springs are probably soft enough. Let's try some off-roading. So, ESC off. I don't know how good the Trackhawk is meant to be off-road, but we'll give this a try. Okay. It just went up there. I suppose that's what happens when you have a lot of power. I'm guessing actually this thing might be incredibly light. Nope, it's 1,800 kilos. Right in the middle. Well, I've stuffed up the suspension enough on this car. God, the styling in this car is like so divisive. I look at it sometimes and go, oh, actually, I like some things about that. And then the rest of me goes, oh, why? Phil, after these cars, can I send you to the link? At the end of the stream, yes. I won't show it on the stream if that's what you want. If you want me to review it next stream, then try resubmitting it. Because if I do every car that everybody wants, I'm just going to burn out, bro. Luckily, ever since I moved to Reddit, less people have been submitting, honestly. There was way too many people submitting cars previously. And it was always so daunting. It happened to me too, but when I hit undo after misplacing it... Oh, if you're using the new version of opt-in automation, alpha build sort of thing, no. Oh, just say no. If something goes wrong, fix it. Delete it, retry it, whatever. Do not hit undo unless you're like early on in the build process. Otherwise, things really go wrong. If you do accidentally hit undo and everything turns red, just go into like painting or whatever, go into body morphs, and then just click on one of the morph areas. It should reset everything. But sometimes it breaks things. So keep that in mind. Just go into morphs, click on something, maybe move it a millimeter, and then everything should reset back onto being on the body. This car handles like... I mean, it's okay. Feels like it's maybe meant more for a track than this. Brakes are not good. Those are some not good brakes, bro. Most of the game I've just vanished, so I don't think I'll be able to do much in automation stuff. Oh, yeah, sometimes also relaunching the game will lose you your or a lot of your fixtures. I've seen that firsthand. God, the brakes suck. Oh, what's this? Ooh, a piece of candy. Oh, okay. Woo! Boom! Yeah! There we go. Now I found the purpose of this car. Parts flying. Let's... I don't want to give it a full fill score because it feels like you're making a meme car. So I'm going to give this thing as a fill score. If you're a beginner, like a 9. It looks really cool from a lot of different ways. If you're not a beginner, like a 6. It's a meme car. I mean, what do you expect? The thing is not particularly good for particularly anything. Or anywhere in between. It depends what it is exactly that you wanted to try to achieve with this car. It depends on how I would score you. I do like the styling somehow. Only, like, from the front here, not the side, not the rear, definitely not the rear, not the interior. Now playing. No, it doesn't illuminate. All right, I just wanted to check. Yeah, lot to like here in terms of styling. Everything else is less than pleasant. All right, now we have a hypercar. I don't know if it's LM hypercar. We'll have to try it out. Let's take it to Spa, though, because that's the only track I have. I don't have a modern Le Mans track. Or Le Mans. It's because in Reddit, only the top 10 upvoted cars make it. In Discord, there was no, yeah. Looks like Cousin's toy car Le Mans. No hard feelings. Oh, is this your car? Or was that your car, I should say? No, I think I'm done. Fair enough, Canola Skies. I understand. It can be soul-crushing to happen. You think it's an LMH? Okay, what is It is the S2L. I see an S1. RXY. Okay, they've named it wrong. But this is by Ringu, who left earlier. Apparently, the brakes are really small on this one. 2022 car, built from the ground up. The S1 was made to be the best race car to hit the track. And I think what happened is the car ended up becoming a bit of a failure, and then the company went bankrupt. If so, I really do like that. That's pretty cool. Discord was just a lot of chaos. A little bit, yeah. Oops. Whoopsie daisies. But yeah, let's go ahead, try this one. It's got ESC, so we'll leave ESC on for now. I think this is meant to be just a race car all round, not a specific category of race car. So the ESC doesn't seem to be doing a huge amount, so it must be that the car is fairly stable without it. Oh, Rouge, understeer, 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 understeer. Okay. I mean, we were going really fast, but the greatest race car of all time should not have understeered that much. Oh, okay. Got a little bit iffy there. Let's try, god damn it, Eau Rouge again. So, turn in left, brake, turn, understeer. So much understeer. All right, let's, oh, this is a sequential, okay. Weird. ABS, hold on, is this all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? Oops. This is all-wheel drive. Oh, sorry, rear-wheel drive. Okay. Let's see how they've done then. Weird. I don't remember pressing the engine off button, but okay. Braking point for a car like this should be about here. Okay, not bad, not bad. Would have liked maybe slightly better brakes. Good. Oh, a little bit squirrely there. I want to turn this to sports. All right, later, folks. Was fun for a while. Okay, Canola Skies, I'm sorry that you ended up being so disappointed. Maybe the opt-in alpha is not ready enough for somebody that's not interested in the game enough. I get it. It's understandable. But just know there are many cool things happening in automation at the moment. Like the fact that you can wide body the car so much better now. Without widening the body, you can just like stick the wheels out the side of the car if you really wanted to. And you can have like different front and rear tire sizes, all that kind of stuff. A lot of cool things in there. Superchargers are coming soon. I did a video on how like I've made a simple way of adding superchargers now for either supercharging or twin charging. You know, this isn't the worst thing in the world. We'll see how it goes at, I believe it's Radeon. I do not remember the names of the two main corners that everyone knows. Oh, this thing kicks out so easily sometimes. Should have been able to go through there faster, but then again, I'm not driving with the steering wheel. Ooh, this gets too sideways for my comfort zone with the controller. Alright, I shouldn't need to lift here. I needed to lift. Too much understeer. Too much understeer. Alright, let's see how we go into bus stop now. God damn it. Okay, yeah, brakes there did quite well. I could see why this car kind of failed. Like, there's lots of good here, but yeah, they're a little bit dangerous and a little bit shitty. So, I like the car. I'm not going to go to a full fill score because it is a, one of 3 ever made. I like it, but it is flawed. I don't like this design, how you've tried to cope with this, unfortunately. But then again, that is so incredibly hard to work with. Congratulations on trying something different there. That is really hard to work with. I'm super excited for superchargers. Hey, I do see the pun that you made now. Definitely didn't attempt to make Mighty Car Mods this in March Super Turbo after watching the supercharger video. That's kind of what I made, and I hope you did, and I hope it looked really cool and was really funky and cool and fun. But yeah, I didn't want to copy that car because I make way too many copies. I just do. So I wanted to make something a little bit more unique. Inspired by, sure, but more unique than that. And I was happy with it. I actually really liked it a lot. So I'm just going to give this a simplified fill score. There's a lot to like here. They've done a lot of interesting things to the bodywork, all that sort of stuff. And the story makes up for the fact that the thing handles a little bit dog shite. I mean, not actually. It's not actually that bad. The handling is okay. It just feels as if it could have been refined more, which would come with racing. If this is the road car, which this is too illegally low, so this is not the road car, they would have been able to tune that themselves, and they would have been able to make it how they wanted it to be. So I would give this car... Just wanted to have a look at the collision mesh. 8.5 out of 10, or 8 out of 10. Somewhere 8.3 out of 10. There is so much going for it that I like, that I am going to overcome the fact that I don't like that side bit, which is such a problem with this car. Radeon is the second part of Eau Rouge. Okay, then. I thought so. Then what's the last corner before bus stop? Fast left is Blanchimont. That's what it's called. Thank you. Yes, Blanchimont. I was like, it's one of those French words. It's not Pouon. I know which one Pouon is. It's one where you get poo on everything. Can you blame me for one of the only French named corners that I know is Pouon? Can you blame me for that?
Can you? Honestly?
I did that, but I spoke softly, so then I didn't make anybody's ears bleed too much, hopefully. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's stream. Let's go ahead and say thank you to everyone that showed up. So that is Toon, who, thank you for showing up to the stream. I didn't haven't said hello to you yet. So, hello and thank you for being here. Crownless, thank you for being here from the absolute very beginning. Silver Moonfang, thank you for showing up again and being here for quite some time. Canola Skies, I'm sorry you left, but it was fun having you here. I haven't seen you in a very long time. Space Warrior, thank you once again for showing up and being here for so long. BMX, thank you very much. If you want me to check out your car afterwards, put the link down. Otherwise, if you want me to check it out next stream, repost it up because there's not always enough cars. This week was out of the norm. Thank you, Chris Gaines, for showing up. Thank you, Groundhog, for being here for so goddamn long. C1X, thank you for being here for quite a while. Shadow, thank you for coming back and for hanging around. The Puon is the double left-hander. Yeah, I know what Puon is. I know it very well. That was a nice stream. Thank you, C1X. Thank you very much. Wait, the stream is ending? This is the end of the stream. We have been going now for 3 and a bit hours? Yeah, 3.5 hours. That is actually a relatively short stream. It is, yeah. But I am also very tired. Coming down probably with a Rona. But I don't think it's actually that bad for me. There were some good-looking cars today. Yes, I believe there was. And this is actually not a bad-looking car. There are a lot of things, as I said, to like about the look of this car. So just have a look at the cutaway tunnel that they did on this car. Like, look at that and nothing else, and this car looks really nice. See you next stream. Okay, Tom, feel free to resubmit those cars if I don't remember to redo them. And this time, make sure the links are good. FlameZ, thank you for coming around. I've lost track of who I've said hello and, sorry, goodbye to and all that sort of stuff, so. Gigift, thank you for showing up today. Good to see new people around. Thank you for showing up. That was nice to see you, man. Thank you. I like the effort in the roof scoop. I don't know. I like using that kind of roof scoop on this car, but not the way they've done it, because they've just used a 3D, whoops, daisies, a 3D placed part. It doesn't wrap around with the car like a normal roof scoop. So I'm gonna say that I don't like their implementation of that, though I know why they did it. It's either because they picked the wrong one, because one of them morphs and 2 of them don't morph, or 2, the one that does morph when it morphs cuts way too far down into the body for no real reason. Thank you for the... Oh, thank you, Shadow. Awesome stream as always. Ah, you guys are making me feel really nice and happy and special on the inside. King Cobra, thank you for showing up in the stream. I don't believe I've seen you around here before as well. Who else we got in here? Let's scroll up a little bit. Octane, thank you for coming around. Silver Moonfang, I think I said hello. Thank you to Mac. Thank you for showing up today. STW Viper, thank you for being here today and showing up. But yeah, I think... Julian, thank you for showing up. There were a few other people, but I think that is enough. You happy to be here, BMX? Thank you, BMX, for showing up. It was very much appreciated. But for now, we're gonna go and say goodbye with our very special ending. Even though it does get copyright striked, I'll just have it edited out. But yes, that is the end. Hold on. Oh no, I don't have the outro set up because new install of Windows. I haven't got it ready yet. Oh no, I can't do it. Well, bugger. Thank you everyone for being here. It's going to be a straight flat ending to the stream. But since we're not doing the special ending to the stream, I may as well just tell you what we're going to do